YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And tonight's live is going to be on a mock draft, guys. Yes, I'm doing another mock draft. This is members first, but it seems like we got a couple extra spots. So if you in the chat, you can get in, guys. And I'm willing to do the giveaway again tonight. I know guys wasn't really it's $5. If you win the mock draft, I'm going to give you $5. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to bring people up. Members first. You can come up and chop it up with me. Help me rate these teams according with the chat. I'm going to post polls. So make sure you get in this mock draft, guys. That way you can get the practice and you can get ahead and you can be cutting edge and win your leagues. That's what we do here at Fantasy Good Sports. So I appreciate everybody being here. Let's go. Let's begin. Let's see who's here. I got RG in the building. Yes, sir. We got Will Hayes. Bro, did you get the link? So we got a couple spots. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and share the screen at this point in time. And the only reason why I don't put it in the chat right away, I have to send it to the members first. That's what they pay for, so I want them to be able to get in. So there we go. Guys, let me know in the chat if you can see the screen well, if you want me to switch it up, you want me to move myself around. Do you like this one? Let me move this queue down. Matter of fact, there we go. Do you like this one better? That one? That one? Or do you want me completely off the screen? Which one do y'all prefer? I probably myself like that one. Will said he's in. Okay. Will says he's in. Conscious Machine, I'm about to post the link. Now we still got a couple more. As you see, a couple more people still needs to get in. So I'm about to post the link as we speak now. Okay. And I'm about to pin it. Matter of fact, in the comment section. There we go. Sorry about that, guys, but I needed to pin that. Pin. All right. Let me go back to sleeper. Okay. Yes, sir. Let's get the likes up, fellas. Let's get the likes up. Hit the like button on the way in. Kazi said he at the 10th spot. We got 2 more spots. Did you get in, Conscious? Fantasy Roll. We got Fantasy Roll in the building. Guys, go check out his channel. Conscious Machine, who's been following me about 3 years now. Appreciate you being here. Yes, let's get the likes up, fellas. Let's hit the like button. Yes, sir. I'm at the 7th spot. We got 2 more spots to go. We got 2 more spots to go. Yes, sir. What up? We got Hector in the building. What's going on, Hector? Yes, sir. Chris Vila in the building. What's going on, Chris? Yes, sir. I'm trying to see how I'm gonna put what you call it. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, I'm trying to see how I want to be able to post who won, start a poll. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna do it after the draft. I'll do it after that. We got 2 more spots, guys. Let's go. We got to get going. We got to get going. Let me see. Since we still got 2 more spots. Let me send this link to a couple more spots. I like the draft to get filled. Let's see here. Okay. Hey, I'm gonna just watch this one. You good, Aaron Holloway? No big deal, bruh. No big deal. Let me share this. Okay, we got one more spot. We got one more. Actually, no, we don't. We got somebody to move. Let me see here. Let me share from the YouTube. Share. Create public. Paste. Boom. Let me go to Twitter. Go to Twitter. We're gonna post. We trying to get this mock draft going. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Uh-oh. Yes, sir. Okay. Still got 2 spots, guys. If we don't get them going, we'll go ahead and do the draft anyway. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Let me go to Discord. Paste. All right, Coat Dog. We got one more. Okay, there we go. Let's go. We are ready to begin. Let's get this draft going, guys. Appreciate everybody being in here. And let's help me rank these teams. Does anybody want to come up? So I'm going to put that in. First, I'm going to send it out to the members. If the members want to come up. If you want to come up and chop it up. Okay. And let me send that also over here. So the poll, okay. Paste. Oh, channel members. Okay, there you go. I'm gonna post it in the comment. If you're welcome to come up if you want to, guys. And help me rank these teams. So let's begin. Sports Dog on the clock. Let's go. All right, I'm gonna make this full screen for right now. Let's go. So what Sports Dog gonna do? Yes, sir. His timer is 3 seconds left on the clock. Okay, he's on auto. Tyreek Hill to the second pick. Nice pick. Nice pick. I'm gonna ride with the third pick of the draft. Like that. I like that pick. What am I going to do here? I went with B. John. So right now off the board, we got Christian McCaffrey with the first pick. We got Tyreek Hill with the second pick. We got Amon-Ra St. Brown with the third pick. We have at the fourth pick, we got CeeDee Lamb. So Amon-Ra went over CeeDee Lamb. I agree with that. A lot of people are not agreeing with that. So a lot of people are taking CeeDee with the second pick. I like that. Breach Hall at the fifth pick. Jamar Chase at the sixth pick by my homeboy Rowe. I took B. John Robinson. I'm not being scared from Tyler Algier. Not being scared. B Silver took AJ Brown. Underdog took Jameer Gibbs, and Mexi Madden took Justin Jefferson. And Coke Dog is on the clock right now. So Saquon Barkley goes at the 111. I love that pick. Saquon Barkley goes at the 111. Jameer Gibbs goes at the 19. I'm more taking Jameer Gibbs in the second round, but I'm not going to sit here and complain about that pick. Okay, you at the turn. What is the turn going to do? RG is at the turn. Well, he took Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams. Ooh, that's early for Devontae. He took him over Puka Nacua. I guess the Puka Nacua injury matters a little bit. You can see that in the mock. He usually been going in the first round. I think Gibbs crept up and Puka fell. Chris says Gibbs over JJ is madness. Probably. I don't know. It depends. Fantasy football said JJ at the 110 is wow. Yeah. I don't think so. But Gibbs going before him, I can see that point. All right, I'm on the clock. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? B Silver got A-Chain with the 2-5. Great pick. Underdog got Gibbs and Kyron Williams. I like that. And Mexi Man went Jefferson and Taylor. I love these. I love this second round. This second round to me is on point. Maybe it's a little spicy for Adams, but I respect it. Cooper Kupp at the 2-9. He's moved up like 2 rounds. Cooper Kupp been going in the 4th round in single quarterbacks leagues. Yes, sir. Guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. This is Cutting Edge content. Again, guys, when we finish with the draft, we will put the polls. I'm gonna do a poll for each person, and I'm gonna let y'all rank them. You're gonna either give it an A, B, or C or D. I think I can do 4 rankings. I'm gonna let y'all decide, and I will be the decision maker at the end if it's a tie, if it's close. Jalen Hurts, quarterback early. Zach Seaman. First quarterback off the board in the second round. I don't think that's bad. If you see a guy that you want, go get him. Marvin Harrison in the second round. CJ Stroud with the stack with Stephon Diggs. Let's see what is Chris gonna do here. Chris Olave. I know the road did not like that. That's his boy. What is Zach Seaman going to do? He's on the board. Isaiah Pacheco. He loves Isaiah Pacheco. I cannot take Isaiah Pacheco in the 3rd round. Me personally, I can't. Waddle, 3 wide receivers off the board for Nifty. I'm on the board at this pick. What am I going to do? Am I going to get spicy? What am I going to? I think I'm going to get spicy here. I think I'm going to get spicy here. Let's see if this works out. It might not work out in my favor, but I'm going to try it. Let's just see. I went a little bit sloppy seconds, but I like this guy. I think this guy could be a league winner. This guy upside is crazy. Now he can go down with injury the way what happened from last year, but I think this guy's going to be special. Yes, he does. Rowe loves Olave, but he didn't get him in this draft. Aaron Holloway. Aaron always says the Rowe love him some Olave. He does. So we got Anthony Richardson. We got Trey McBride, the first tight end off the board. We got Travis Kelsey. Then we got Debo moving up in the mock in the third round. He's been going in the fifth in some of my early mocks, but he's moved up now. That's why we try to mock all year long because these guys move. We got Sam Laporta going in third. Sam Laporta is not the first tight end taken off the board like he was earlier this year. We got the stack with RG with Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers. I love that. I love those picks. I love, even though you took Devontae a little early, I love what you have built RG at the 112. To me, guys, the 112 is the place to be this year. I haven't seen a bad 112 in any of my mocks. All the mock drafts at the 112 is elite. We got Coke Dog, took some elite neighbors in the fourth. I think that's great value. Fantastic pick. Chris says Tyreke Freaky. Yes. So what am I going to do now at this point in time? What am I going to do? Be Silver on the clock. Nice pick. He goes Nico. Nico in the fourth is okay. He didn't take none of those wide receivers super early. Houston, I like those guys to fall to me. I don't like taking them early. So I like that value. But I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna go with a stack. I'm gonna get Michael Pittman with AR. With AR 15 and Michael Pittman. DJ Moore in the fourth. I don't know. A lot of mouths to feed in an offense, but he is the number one wide receiver as far as money. But I don't know. Keenan Allen to me is one of the best route runners. And then you got Roman Dunze, who's a young guy, who's a great jump ball, contest and catch guy. Nifty is staying with the wide receivers. You talking about zero RB? This is the strategy. Watch Nifty right here, guys. Right here. Watch Nifty. Look at this. CeeDee Lamb, Cooper Kupp, Jalen Water, Evans, all wide receivers. So it's going to be very excited to see what happens. Aaron Holloway says, I love that Neighbors picking the fourth. Everybody's teams are stacked. Right. I wanted to go Neighbors. I knew he wasn't going to make it. I could have went Neighbors right here and maybe rated on AR, but I went on and took that chance to see what was going to happen, and it didn't make it back. So that's the chances that you take and see what you can do. That's why mock drafting is important. Yep. Again, guys, I posted the link. If anybody want to come up and help me judge the teams, you are welcome to it. I posted the link. All right, I'm getting ready to come up. I got to figure out what I'm going to do. I think I know what I got to do. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Yeah, Alvin Kamara. So he guys, you see that? He waited to the fifth round and got Alvin Kamara on a zero RB bill. It don't matter what wide they get Kamara at a zero RB bill. I think it's fantastic. No matter what's going on with Kamara at this point in time of his career, I would take Alvin Kamara as my first running back off the board if I like the wide receivers that I'm getting. Okay, what am I going to do? I'm going right here. I went on and got my boy. I'm high on Njoku, and that's what I'm talking about. Going to get your guy. I went on and got my guy. I don't care what the ADP says. I got to get my guy. Got to get my guy. Yep, got to get my guy. B Silver with the Ramondre Stevenson pick. Good pick, bro. Good pick. Tank Dale off the board. That could be the number one. Who knows who the number one on that team is? That's what I'm saying. That's why I like going. I like Tank Dale value of all those guys. I love Tank Dale value of all those guys. Good job. Got Kyle Pitts. Tight ends are hot. I like all the value of the tight ends. And then RG keep killing it at the turn. I love his team. I love his team. That turn is dangerous. You get the two picks. It's all. I mean, oh my. That's why I like doing auction drafts sometimes because you can't. It's going to be hard to stop the 112 guy if he knows what he's doing. It's going to be hard. I mean, Kyle Pitts and then James Conner, and that's a zero RB deal. James Conner been a top 5 RB the last 2 years. Woo, that's going to be hard to beat. That's going to be tough to beat. Yes, sir. Guys, make sure you become a member if you want to get in these mocks. I'm going to be doing a lot more. I'm going to pick back up on them. They don't really do a lot for me in the algorithm, but I want my guys to win championships. So I'm willing to sit up on a work night and do these mocks. I think they are important. Yep, got my 3 running backs. Guys are getting goal line touches. I'm good with that. I like my team. I only have 1 wide receiver. Just a lot of good value out there for me at running back. I'm okay with that. I see some wide receivers that I know there's some sleepers that I'm okay with getting. So David Montgomery. So got another heavy RB team. Let's see what Nifty gonna do with that zero RB bill, with that hero RB bill. Najee Harris. For Zach, I love that. I think he's going to get goal line touches, even though Jalen Warren is a little bit more explosive. Najee runs hard. And Nifty went another great wide receiver pick, Chris Godwin. Really good pick right there. Chris Godwin going in the slot. This is full PPR type standard format. I'm sorry, full PPR league. And I think Chris Godwin's going to be good this year. I think he's going to get over 110 catches this year. I like him over Mike Evans. That's just me personally. Yes, sir. Let's make sure we get the likes up, fellas. Aaron Holloway says Nifty ain't playing facts with the zero RB deal. We got Rome of Doomsday coming off. We got Brian Robinson. Zach and move Brian Robinson up to the 7th round. Great pick, bro. That's a great pick right there. Fantastic pick. Fantastic. got a quarterback like Dak Prescott, a top two quarterback. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now? I went with Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman. We got a Xavier Worthy going off the board at the 7th round. Explosive guy. Might be a little bit volatile, but the boom is there. We still got great quarterbacks coming off the board in the 7th round. So got great quarterbacks coming off the board in the 7th round. Guys like Kyler Murray. The only way I took my quarterback early because I got Anthony Richardson. Outside of that, I'm not really taking a quarterback early unless I got a plan to get a guy who I think could be a league winner. Because there's so much value. Like, how are you gonna get Kyler Murray in the 7th? Why would you go early? I mean, Kyler Murray has been a top 5 quarterback 90% of his career. When he's healthy, he's been a top 5 guy. So Kyler, great value, Mexi Madden. RG at that turn, and he probably gonna get Tajay Spears right here. Squeeze. That's a smart. That's how you play. Yep, and he did it. He's killing it. He's killing it. Tony Pollard and Tyler Spears. You got the starting running back there. You got if you can play both guys together. Again, another great quarterback coming off the board like Tua in the 8th round, who can be the number 1 quarterback. Who was the number 1 quarterback? What was it? A couple years ago before he got hurt, was gonna probably on his way to win MVP. Maybe he gets back to that with all those weapons that they got this year, and everybody been on the same page. We got Mostert off the board. We got Hollywood Brown off the board. It's a tough, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it saucy. I'm gonna keep it saucy. I'm getting some upside play with my wide receivers right there. Rasheed Rice, Brian Thomas, Deontay Johnson. It was a receiver run, and I knew it was coming. That's why I went and got my receiver. I could have got a running back. I've seen a couple running backs that I like. Yep, Jackson Smith and Jigber. Yes, I know he was going. I know I had to get one of those guys if I was going to get them, but I went with McConkey. I like McConkey. I think he's going to be the number 1 target getter, the only guy that you can really trust on that offense for the Chargers with Justin Herbert. So I'm going with some wide receiver upside PPR guys. Keon Coleman, I love his touchdown upside. He's a jump ball type guy, great hands, runs great routes. I would call his game kind of like a D Hop Keenan Allen hybrid. That's how I see his game played. Yes, sir. Some good teams out here. It's gonna be tough to rank them. Again, if anybody wants to come up, you're welcome to it. I posted the link in the chat. I'll post it again in a few. Okay, what am I going to do? I think I'm doing this. Yes, sir. Yep. We got Zach Moss going right after Chase Brown. We have Jamison Williams going in the ninth. I think that's good value. I think AD Mitchell is good value, especially with the injury to Josh Downs. But Jamison Williams, I feel like got a lot of upside. He definitely could be a breakout player. I did not have him on my list. I don't know. That was terrible early. I should have had him on my list. I talked a lot about him anyway. He's a sleeper, however you want to look at it. Rashid Shaheed, great pick as your last pick of the draft. That you can't beat that. You cannot beat that. Rico Dowdle, nice pick. Nice pick. I think he's going can beat out Zeke. Zeke, they say he looks older. So that's a nice pick with Rico Dowdle. Good job, guys. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get the likes up. Chuba Hubbard, like that. I went with Jalen Polk, the rookie wide receiver. With no Brandon Ayuk go in there, I love Polk. I was nervous for a minute because I got a couple Polk shares. Brock Bowers in the last round. I love that. Great job, Nifty. Kill a team. You get Brock Bowers in the last right there. That's how you do it if you're gonna wait on tight end. Also, the underdog Dallas got it in the last round. It's not a bad pick. That's not a bad pick at all. Trey Benson is not bad. You're getting a guy who has an opportunity. Last picks, you got to take guys, got to stack your running backs. I like getting running backs, but I had my running backs. I got 4. So we're not gonna pitch big pitch spots. Okay, guys. So let's start ranking some of these teams. Let's start off with Sports Dog. And again, I'm gonna post if anybody wants to come up. I'm gonna post it in the chat. You're welcome to come up and chop it up with me. You ain't got to show your face. You can just talk about if you want to talk about your own team, you can. You're welcome to do it. Also, let me go ahead to the. I'm gonna start the poll, and I'm doing the poll for rank my team. No, rank my mock draft. That's what I'm gonna call it. What's up, bro? I see you. What's up, bro? A1. Okay. So I'm gonna do A, B, C, and D. All right, and we doing Sports Dog. 1,000. Okay. I'm gonna let the chat. That's how we're gonna interact, guys. We're gonna let the chat pick Sports Dog 1,000. Let's go. Yes, sir. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. Yeah, we said, hey, y'all don't want to hear this baby crying. Are we good, bro? It's all good, Alex. It's all good, man. I'm proud of you, bro. Yes, sir. Congratulations. Healthy baby. Boy. Yep. Caught that. So right now we got B. We see B. Let me talk about the team a little bit. So Christian McCaffrey with the 1-1. I don't got nothing to say about that. Even with the calf injury, I don't see anything wrong with that. Stephon Diggs early. Guys, and I nitpick, just to let you know. I nitpick. That's the only way we can do this. We can't give everybody an A. We can't give everybody a B. So we have to say stuff that may be biased and opinionated, but that's just how we bring here. That's why I do the I let the chat help me out. So anybody want to come up, you're welcome to it. Again, I'm gonna keep stating that because I like to have a little bit of help. But Christian McCaffrey, 1-on-1, that's a good pick. Stephon Diggs was too early for me. I wouldn't have took him there. I'm not taking any Houston wide receiver into the 3rd and 4th and 5th round. That's when I want to get those guys because it's a committee. Same thing with Chicago wide receivers. I don't want any of those guys into like the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and maybe even later because it's a committee. I don't know who the guy gonna be. You know, they could share it. It could be different guys every week. So CJ Stroud with the 3-1, I think that's a good pick because you got Diggs, so I understand it. So I like that. Right now, I'm saying this team is B plus A minus. The Diggs is pulling you down. You would be an A, but to me, I'm grading hard. Right now, people are saying B. Devontae Smith. I like Devontae Smith right there in the 4th. I like Pickens in the 5th. But if Ayuk goes there, man, I don't know. I'm not saying it's a bad pick, but Pickens doesn't look elite anymore with Ayuk being there. Even though he's a great player, or good player. DeAndre Swift in the 6th as your second running back to get him in the 6th. He is a starting running back. I respect it. That's a solid pick. I'm saying this is a B plus team so far. Jake Ferguson, I love that pick. You waited late to get him. Gus Edwards in the 8th is good. Corm, I think you could have got somebody else. You don't have Kyron. So whatever. This is a B, B plus. Wicks, too many mouths to feed, but you did take them late. But this is all these guys are starters. So right now I'm gonna say this team is a B, and I'm grading hard. I think it's a good team. I think it could win. I'm not gonna say because Pickens could ball out, Diggs could be the number 1, and this team is good, but we're grading hard. So I'm gonna give this team a B. And according to the chat, the B is winning. Zach says, I was about to snipe you on a joke again, but I got auto pick. Mark Andrews, you lucky TD. Yes, I know you want my guy. Matthew Lee, what's up, bro? What's going on, man? That's my homeboy. That boy so support through Facebook. Hey, bro, make sure you got the YouTube link so you can sign up and play. Bro, I got an opening spot for a listener league, Matthew. I know you wanted to play. So yeah, man, take down my YouTube information, just Fantasy Good Sports, as you see. And come over to YouTube, bro, and get in this listener league that we about to start. It's $25 entry fee. Matthew. Says Matthew Lee says not much. Yep. Yep, I think okay. But yeah, looks like B is winning out. How many votes? Let me see how many votes we actually have. Let me look and see how many votes. We got 12 votes. So I'm gonna give it a little bit more time, and then we're gonna try to move on. Matthew says C. I say it's a B team. Okay, so I think B. We're gonna do it with a B. Let's end it. Okay. All right, I think you got a good team. We just grading hard, bro. Yeah, I guess we can grade this team too. We'll go ahead and grade this team. Okay, he's back on right now. Okay. So Tyreek Hill with the 1-2. I think that was an awesome pick. Let me go ahead and set the auto draft. I mean the poll up while I'm talking. It's a 3G team. What that mean, Rock Out? What you mean by 3G? All right, let's go ahead, start poll. It's Chris Dizzy. Chris Dizzy. Dizzle. I'm sorry, not Dizzy. Dizzle. Okay. A B C and D. All right, let's start the poll. All right. So I love the Tyreek Hill with the second overall pick. Marvin Harrison, that's too early for me in the 211. I'd rather wait to the third or fourth. Chris Olave in the third is solid. Right now, I'm giving this team I'm gonna give it a B plus. Rashad White, I like that pick. Kincaid, I like that pick. I like Rashad White as your first running back when you went 3 wide receivers. Keenan Allen and Adunze, I like the squeeze, but you don't have DJ Moore. So I mean, sometimes you having a squeeze there just depends on who you got. I think that's okay. So I'm seeing a B so far. Austin Eckler. If you'd have got Brian Robinson with Austin Eckler, I'd have respected that, but we don't know what Austin Eckler is going to do from week to week. Is he going to get the goal line touches right now? Both guys are the starter. So maybe they just swap them out. It could be 50-50, hot hand. Ezekiel Elliott right now, to me, I don't think I'm drafting Ezekiel Elliott anymore. He doesn't look good in camp. I think he's going to play a little bit until Rico Dowdle prove that he can take over. They might even trade for a running back after camp over. I don't know. And Matthew Stafford in the 10th round, that's your best pick, man. That moves it up to almost that gave you a bump. I would say B plus. Oh, but self-film bandwidth grade. What happened? Did I do the grade? It didn't happen? We don't got the grade out here? Okay, I thought what the heck is the subscribers only mode? Only channel subscribers for 5 minutes or longer can send message. No. It should be more than just subscribers. I don't like that. I don't know what's going on. Hold on, guys. This is weird. I'm so sorry about that. It's not out. Wow. I actually want to do anyone. Okay. Guys, I don't know what happened to the poll. It's not letting me do a poll. What the heck is going on? Oh, is the poll here? Do y'all see the poll? Let me see. Let me see what's going on here. What is going on here? I auto drafted those Bears, but they're more or less of approach. Okay. Close this one. Okay, I would have an active poll. Where the hell is the poll? Okay, I see it now. Okay, guys, I couldn't see it. Okay. B. So 60% says B. 60% says B. So let's see how many votes we got. We got 10 votes. 10 votes. Yeah. Rockout says it's a 3G team. It's like a cell phone bandwidth grade. Chris says I auto drafted those birds, but that's more or less my approach. Right. I got you. I respect that. That's why we just nitpicking. RG says I see the poll. Okay, we got 10 votes. I'm gonna wait a little bit. Want to at least try to get 12. We got 60% saying B. 60% saying B. Let's see. Anytime, Chris. I'm gonna keep it real here. I'm not gonna patty cake, guys. Anybody want to come up? You're welcome to it. I put the streaming link in the chat. So if you want to come up, you're welcome to it. AUs, he says, hey, ESPN full PPR pick 10 on a 12-man full PPR. Who do I take in the first and second round? I'm so lost. Do I take Gibbs and Cowan or what? So he says ESPN full PPR. pick 10 on a 12-man. Okay, you got to pick 10 guys on a 12-man full PPR league. Well, who do I take in the first? So you got pick 10. Pick 10. Pick 10. So here we got at pick 10, we got Justin Jefferson. I would say I'm gonna give you a couple guys. I would take Breach Hall if he fall. I would take Bijan Robinson if he fall. I would take Jamar Chase if he fall. I would take Justin Jefferson if he fall. I would take Saquon Barkley. So I don't know what's going to be left on your board, but I would take. It looks like Justin Jefferson. If Justin Jefferson can be there, you take him. I don't know if he's going to be there. I don't know if Jamar Chase is going to be there. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Any of these guys in the first round, bro, I'm okay with, except for Gibbs. I wouldn't take Gibbs there. I would take Saquon over Gibbs just for the fact that I believe Saquon is going to get more of a workload than Gibbs. That's the only reason why I would fade Gibbs. But I would definitely take any of these guys from 1-7 on up, the way you want to, the way you see fit. Only way I could tell you, I would have to be in the draft with you, because I don't know who's going to be there. I don't know how to rank them like that, right? Okay, so we got 11 votes. We got C. It looks like it's going to be a B. So let's end this poll and keep it moving. Let's move on to the next guy. All right, let me end this poll. Okay, so no Gibbs, understood. Right, I wouldn't take Gibbs there. I would try to wait. That's just me personally. I would try to take Gibbs in the second round at the 2-1. Jake SF, what's going on, Jake? He says State Farms. Okay, Jake, State Farms. Mahomes or Stroud in Dynasty startup. I would take Stroud right now and let him play with that upside where he want to prove something to the league. Mahomes has nothing to prove other than Super Bowl, so he's not trying to throw for a bunch of stats. Not saying he won't, but I think he don't have to prove anything. I think CJ Stroud is trying to prove the world that he's great. So I would take Stroud, win a couple championships, and I would come off of him and then go to the next young quarterback that's a phenom. That's how I do in Superflex leagues or quarterback leagues. I use the guy who's got something to prove, and then I get off of him and go on to the next young guy once he's proved it and I trust it, and get a package deal and move on to the next hungry guy. That's just the way I do it. So that was his comment. All right, so let me create the next poll for Zach Seaman. Yes, sir. Start poll. Zach Seaman. Seaman. You can come up, Ayush, and you could talk about the teams. That's what it's for. You can get the link and you ain't got to show your face. You just talk about the teams. Okay, so let me create the poll. A, B, C, D. Okay, so let me talk about Zach's team. So at the 1-3, I love Zach's team. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown at the 1-3. Jalen Hurts, he went and got his quarterback. I'm okay with it. This is an A team so far. Isaiah Pacheco, I'm not high on Isaiah Pacheco, so I'm gonna be hard on him. You know, y'all might like it. That's why y'all can grade his team, but I'm gonna bring him down to a B plus with that. Ayuk at the 4-10, we don't know, but it looks like he's gonna be a Steelers, and I don't know if he's just gonna ball out with the Steelers like he did. So I think he'll be an average wide receiver. I think he could be a top 24 wide receiver and be on a winning team. I don't know if he's gonna be an elite fantasy player. Mark Andrews in the 5th is solid. So I would still say B. I'm being hard on Mark. I don't think Mark is going to get the volume, but I think he's going to get the touchdowns this year. Najee Harris in the 6 is good. Solid B plus. Brian Robinson is a great pick. I almost want to bump you up to an A minus, but I love the Brian Robinson pick. That's just my opinion. Jackson Smith and Jigba is solid in the 8th round. Calvin really in the 9th is great value. I would still give you a strong B plus. Trey Benson in the 10th. Man, I'm gonna keep it at a B. I think Isaiah Pacheco took this team. You could have got, if you'd got to me, in my opinion, a better running back there, or one that I could trust, I would have gave you an A- myself. I would have said A-, so I might would have picked the A because and Ayuk is not super sexy. It's a couple picks here, man. I would say the picks that maybe you could approve on, which they good picks, but they could approve on, it would be Pacheco, Ayuk, and mostly Pacheco and Ayuk. I think it took it to a B. And right now, that's what the chat is saying. Is that let me see here. So let's look at the chat. We got how many votes we got? We only got 7 votes. So we got 7 votes so far. Zach says Pacheco would be a top 10 RB, and Brian Roberts has top 12 running back upside. You could be right. We grading hard right here. I'm not getting to Pacheco. That's just me. So I'm biased. I'm not gonna sit there and act like I know anything or I'm on this. I can't draft them. So that's why I'm letting the chat decide. So right now the chat is saying B. 50% B. Okay, I guess I'm gonna end it there. We're gonna go ahead and move on and get through this draft. Impo. All right, go on to make the next one. We're gonna get on to Nifty's team, that 0 RB team. Really strong team, I thought. Okay. Okay. Add option. A, B, C, D. Okay. Star poll. All right, let me break down Nifty team. So CeeDee Lamb at the 1-4, I think is great value with CeeDee Lamb. Cooper Kupp. I understand the pick. I'm not gonna go. I'm just gonna keep it even kill. I think it's a good solid pick. I think it's better than the Diggs pick. I understand it with Puka Nacua getting an injury. I think he's still gonna be okay, but I got to give you credit for what's going on in camp right now. It's a good pick. If Puka Nacua don't play for week 1 or 2, Cooper Kupp gonna get 12 targets, 13 targets, 14 targets easily. Waddle in the 3rd, I like that. I'm not big on Mike Evans. I would give this team an A-. Kamara in the 5th, I'm gonna move it up to an A. I think that was one of the best picks of the draft. Great pick. Chris Godwin is another one. I think this is an A. Dak Prescott, A, but you got him in the 7th. Deontay, A. Jacoby Ford, I can nitpick a little bit, but he probably gonna be the starting guy with Nick Chubb being out, especially with Deontay Foreman getting helicoptered. And Brock Bowers, this probably is close to an A+ team, man. I love the way you structure it, not just because you went 0 RB. I'm not that big on Alvin Kamara. With Mike Evans, but your strategy hit. Sometimes the strategy, even though I'm not on the player, I can respect the strategy build. And I want y'all to know that. Just to be fair to Zach, I am not high on Pacheco. Like I said, if you had a better running back out of game, but if Pacheco hits, you killed it. Like it could be an A- team. But right here, I'm not big on Mike Evans, but I see what you did. You went got your guy. You like Mike Evans. Then you went got Godwin, so you squeezed. Yeah, man, this is almost an A+ team. Let me see what the chat's saying. They saying B. 57 cents saying B. Woo, y'all rough. I see a couple A votes. I can't vote on it. It won't let me vote. Let me see. I got to bring up Ayush. He's up here. What's going on, Ayush?
What's good? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Man, what's up? What's up?
What's going on, bro? This your first time finding my channel?
Yeah, matter of fact, I was just going through YouTube, just searching up just live streams, and yeah, just came and found your channel right now.
I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate it. I'm glad to see, man. They don't show me a lot of live through the horizontals. What the YouTube don't show me a lot of love through the horizontal live. So I'm glad you found me, man. But yeah, man, you want to come up here and rank some of these teams with me?
Yeah, let's go.
Awesome. I wish you would have got in the draft. Maybe you can make the next one.
All right.
Okay.
Look forward to it, man.
So what do you think about? You want to break down Nifty team real quick?
Yeah, so obviously starting off with the first round, can't go wrong with CD Lamb at all. That's like a steal in my opinion because I see CD Lamb going at 2. Then I have then at the second round, Cooper Cup might be a little reach, but hearing the news around Puka Nakua, you never know. He can be there for the upside, so kind of like that pick, kind of like a hot take pick if you ask me, but we can keep moving on. Then I do like Waddle at the 3 because Waddle at the third round to me, it's like if you really think about him in the last season, you can really think about like how he got injured and he was pretty much banged up the whole entire time. And I thought like because of that, and he was still doing me wonders in fantasy last year. I had him. I traded for him for a reason towards like the last playoff stretch, and he also did me wonders. So I like that. Then we go on to the fourth round. Mike Evans, can't really go wrong with Mike Evans, man. Like super consistent, won't go down. He has a really safe floor. And just the chemistry between him and Baker Mayfield, it's kind of ramping up a little bit. I think he has like potential upside, but it might be a low cap just because they're the Buccaneers. But then again, I really like his safe floor. That's like a really safe pick. I like that. Kamara to me, a lot of my friends and like YouTubers I've been knowing, like they've been saying, "Oh, you gotta fade Kamara this year, fade him this and that." But hey, man, I traded for Jaden Waddle and Kamara. I gave up Puka and Kyron Williams, I think, in that trade.
Mm-hmm.
To me, Kamara is like a straight up PPR machine, man. If you guys are in full PPR, I think Kamara is like an absolute steal, just the way he racks up receptions on and on and on. It's like he can pretty much get 20 points off receptions just being off screen passes. Like I've seen it like every time. Like I know that's an exaggeration, but I really like Kamara. But yeah, and then keep going on. Chris Godwin. I don't know. Me personally, I'm kind of like nitpicky about Godwin because I'm like, if I'm gonna go with Mike Evans, I'm not gonna bother running that duo stack at all in the first place. Just because if I'm in full PPR, I always want to aim for pure upside. So I'm just gonna leave Godwin as it is. I'm like kind of neutral about it. I don't know if I really like him or not, but he's like a solid pick. I wouldn't hate too much on him. And if I'm understanding, he had to really, instead of taking Godwin, I would have taken Ferguson if you asked me, because Ferguson to me is like a sleeper pick, just because of the fact that nobody's really there in Dallas as far as it's only CD Lamb, and everybody's like, oh my God, it's going to be a CD Lamb show. He's going to get like 150, 160 targets, whatever. But what they really sleep on is just Ferguson in the red zone. And I actually like Ferguson a lot this year just because his red zone potential is just off the charts. And then he could have went with Ferguson like instead of Godwin.
Yeah.
And I mean, but that's perfectly fine though. He probably had a game plan. He had to go get his receiver stack going, I guess. And then Dak Prescott, I really like the Dak and CD stack. I think that's like playoff. There's like a lot of potential for it, and I really like that because just the fact that I've seen some stats and it's like stacking players with like high probability boosts your chance to win your league by 25%.
Come on now. I like, man, let me jot that down, bro, because I don't know. I'm not a numbers guy. I just go off my just my feeling. I watch the game with my eyes, and I kind of like, okay, this is how I feel like I need to do in order to get those points. But you giving me some facts with this. You saying that if you stack certain players together, it gives you a 25% boost to win your league?
I wouldn't say for all players, but specifically last year, if you CD Lamb, like if you had, I've seen like a stat. I was watching some other YouTube video. I don't know what YouTuber exactly. It was like in my TikTok reel or something, but just the ability to stack a player. If you're feeling like you're going all in on one player, you might as well stack the QB, because if you're thinking this guy's going to hit, hey, someone's going to have to throw touchdowns to him, and it ain't going to be a ghost. So you might as well go stack him. And like I said, I don't know what guy here ended up picking Marvin Harrison, for example. If you think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be that guy as a wide receiver, you might as well put all your chips in and you might as well get Kyler Murray as your stat, because if you're going to bet on one guy, you might as well bet on the other guy for high upside. So that's like my theory for stacking. But moving on, Deontay Johnson, I see him as a wide receiver one there. There's like nobody there. Maybe you have Thielen. I don't know what that depth chart is looking like, but I really do like Deontay Johnson because he's pretty much like an Adam Thielen of last year. I got cooked. I got cooked in like week 1 or 2 when Adam Thielen like went crazy for like a 30 or 40 bomb in fantasy just because of being a wide receiver one. And just to say that a lot of people do hate on the Panthers just because they suck, but I just think that it's kind of unfair to Bryce Young because he came in like the worst situation known to mankind. Like he wasn't gonna. Everybody knew that like the Bears robbed. I'm from Chicago by itself, by the way, and the Bears completely robbed. I just gotta go ahead and say that it is what it is. But Bryce Young just pretty much came into like a really bad situation, and I don't think anybody should sleep on the Panthers just because there's like pure upside. I wouldn't say like go ahead and draft their tight ends and all that. I'm not saying that, but as far as like you want to go for the alphas, like the guys that are mainly there, I would like to just go for Deontay Johnson. I really like that pick. And then I think my favorite 10th round pick, it is Jerome Ford. Like I know like as a pick 10 in my home league, like I haven't drafted yet and I draft on ESPN, but I know like Jerome Ford is like one of my I'm like really, really high on him just because of the fact that if you look at the Browns depth chart right now, there's really nobody healthy right now, and it's literally just Jerome Ford. And people are like, "Oh well, Nick Chubb is gonna come back," but it's like, dude, I saw that. I went when I saw that Nick Chubb like replay on his hit. I think it was Minka Fitzpatrick who laid the hit on him. I don't remember who it was, but whoever laid the hit on him, his knee like literally bent at like a 90 degrees angle, like backwards, man. And I'm like, I don't even know if he's gonna be the same anymore. And it's like I've seen recovery videos of like Nick Chubb's coming back, and I'm like, that dude's a beast for doing that. But I just really don't think he's gonna be the same at all. So it is what it is. And then with his last pick, Brock Bowers, I mean, he didn't have a tight end. Just my strategy, I'd like to have like a top 7 tight end just in a full PPR to have upside. But it is Gardner Minshew, and if this guy really believes in Brock Bowers, like he is pretty good. Like we saw what he could do in Georgia. Like I've seen like all the football games, and he has upside. But yeah, I like this team. Just considering the fact that Dak has the ability to be a top 5 quarterback, just because of the fact that we have seen him being able to rush, and like just if he's gonna shower CD with targets, and if you're gonna run that stat, I would. Like if you're gonna give this team a grade, I would give it an A for sure, man. Because there's a lot of upside that people are just not looking at. Like you guys might just look at the back end and be like, oh, he's just got Deontay Johnson and Jerome Ford. I'm like, guys, that is like those are not wide receivers 2 and a running back 2s like in his back end. Like those guys are gonna be the alphas on their team, man. Because if Thielen was like out there last year, like stacking up 20 fantasy points, like going here and there, and you're gonna get crazy bursts from your like 10th or 11th round pick, man, like that team has a lot of upside. The only thing I just don't like is the Godwin and like the Bowers thing. I would have tried to go in for a tight end, but that if he hadn't got the tight end earlier, I would have given him an A+, man.
Right. Facts. I think it's an A. I think it's close to an A+. Only thing that I'm gonna take it from an A+, I'm not gonna give it an A+ just because of Mike Evans. I'm not that high on Mike Evans, but he did squeeze. He did get 2 guys, which I like that type of squeeze when you don't know who's the number 1. Mike Evans, I think he's an older wide receiver. I think he's just a touchdown guy. I think Godwin is going to be the guy, and Rashad White is going to be the guy for that team this year. But outside of that, man, I love it. What do you think, Ro?
I'm okay with the CeeDee Lamb pick. I'm not too high on Cooper Kupp, but he did get Watto. I mean, if you swap Cooper Kupp and Watto, I don't hate it. I actually like Mike Evans in the 4th. I like Alvin Kamara in the 5th. Godwin is a guy I'm not too high on. I see Keenan Allen went after him. I would easily take Keenan Allen over Godwin. I am okay with Dak. I mean, just seeing Joe Burrow there, I would probably go Joe Burrow, but I mean, he fell to me, so. Deontay Johnson is a guy I like. Jerome Floyd, I don't really like too much. I would have preferred Javonte Williams or even Jonathan Brooks taking a shot on him. Brock Bowers in the 10th is amazing. Overall, I would say it's like a B plus.
Right. I think it's an A plus. I love Ford. He's got. It's not about the player. It's about the opportunity to start. Javonte Williams has got people on his neck. Now he can start. He does have the starting role, but Audrey Estime, Jaleel McLaughlin, that makes me nervous. I'm not worried about any backups from Cleveland getting Jerome Ford spot, especially with what IU said was a couple guys that's already injured. So I love the team. But the chat says B. So I guess I'm gonna write down B. But when we give everybody B, we're gonna have to be doing this thing over again. So I'm gonna have to take over a little bit. But yes, that's another B. Everybody's got a B so far. So I'm gonna write down a couple names just to know at the end we can talk about. All right, let's move on. Let me ask a couple of these questions. Let me see. You said earlier, the thing is, I understand that Olave is climbing the ESPN board really hard, and I see him going early round 1 and 2 turn now. It's crazy, man. So actually, we got an expert here about Olave. How do you feel about that, Ro? He loves Olave IU's, by the way.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ro.
Yeah, I definitely do like Olave. I think he's bounce. I think he's bound for a breakout season. He looked really good last season. I feel like Derek Carr can get him the ball. I feel like he just wasn't used properly. With the new coaching change, I really like me some Chris Olave.
Okay.
And
go ahead, Ayush.
okay, my bad.
No,
And
you good.
just to talk to you more about that role. So the coaching change, from what I've heard, is mainly the Eagles and Saints head coach. The new coaching staff they've actually got is focusing more on pre-snap motions, and they're trying to get their motion plays more in the like go upwards in terms of running more motion plays. I would just have to say that. And it's kind of important to highlight that just because of the fact that I know Olave will get certain looks that will be way more cleaner. And I'm just the only reason I don't love Olave is I'm really high on Olave. Like if Olave had a really good quarterback, like if he had like anybody else but Derek Carr, man, like I sorry to put disrespect on Derek Carr, but man, like he just can't get the ball to his hands. Like, and I don't know what to say about that because last year Olave was amazing on those deep route runs, and Olave on by himself. Like I'm high on him. It's just that I'm low on the QB. Like that's all. That's all I gotta say. And just to see that, if you look at, you also have to factor in that Olave is amazing, but you have to look at your ADPs towards like your 1-2 turn, right? And if you're telling me, like, okay, for me, I haven't drafted yet, but I'm going to be at the 10th spot in my home league, right? And if you're going to tell me that, okay, let's go, go any of the top 12 guys, right? And then you're telling me I have to take Olave in the 1-2 turn when, like, literally Garrett Wilson, Puka, Kyron Williams are literally there. It's just, I can't buy that because Kyron, if I can get any of those guys, like, in their ADP, it's like too much of a return me. Now, I would be way comfortable taking Olave in the back half, like in this sleeper mock draft, like where Olave is at, perfect. Like he's like an instant click at that 2-3 turn. But Olave is just at the 1-2 turn is just for the ADP. It's just I just don't feel safe enough for that. But that's where I am standing with Olave right now.
I agree with you 100%. That's what I tell Ro is at the ADP. I think he's a good player. I just rather have those guys. But Ro said he's going to outdo those guys this year. So I respect that. I'm watching. It's possible. The guy's talented. I just don't. I know if he could be a number one wide receiver like that. I think Rashid Shaheed's going to take some targets away from him and make him maybe be a fringe top 16 guy instead of a top 12, top 7 guy. That's just me. Okay, let's go on to Underdog. Ro, you want to do Underdog's team first? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, Brees Hall, I really like that pick. But Josh Jacobs, I like Josh Jacobs, but that's a little early for me. Josh Allen, I prefer to wait on QB. I mean, you see the QB value that fell. I mean, Joe Burrow fell to the 7th round. I would prefer just to wait personally, but I mean, you're getting one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Maybe not too much complaint, but it's just not the strategy I would usually go in. DJ Moore, I like that pick after DK Metcalf, which I like DK Metcalf slightly ahead, so I don't mind where you got him. Joe Mixon, David Montgomery. I like Joe Mixon. Now, don't like David Montgomery that much. Honestly, probably would prefer DeAndre Swift in like the next round. DeAndre Hopkins, Rasheed Rice, Jordan Addison. I feel like he did a nice job filling out his wide receiver room because he kind of waited late on that. And then Dallas Goedert. I feel like this is a solid B team.
Right. What would you say I use?
Okay, so first of all, just going off, I'm just gonna go out round by round. Brees Hall, I love the pick. Can't go nothing wrong. I think at 5, I think Brees Hall should be going at 4, but 5 is like it's pretty much a good steal just because of the fact that without A-Rod, Brees Hall was able to put those numbers towards the second half of the season. I just know I'm pretty jealous that me being at the 10th pick, I can't get Brees Hall because like I know if I was a top 4 pick or if I had a top 4 pick, Brees Hall would be an instant click for me. So that's one. 2 roles, I agree with you. Josh Jacobs is a reach. I would have preferred him to have him in like the 3rd or 4th round just because of his ADP value. I've been way comfortable taking, give me a let's see what he kind of passed up on. I would have taken a Cooper Kupp, maybe a Marvin Harrison just for like the pure upside. But Josh Jacobs is early, but that's fine. Josh Allen, I would have preferred taking him in the 4th round, but I understand that if you're a fantasy football player that's pretty high on having just that ace quarterback, you might as well just go ahead and get him whenever you feel like it. You just got to make sure you iron out the kinks in your other rounds. I don't have anything around that. Now, my thing about Josh Allen this year is that just the fact that he lost, let's say, what were his receivers? Stephon Diggs, and he lost all of his other guys. He pretty much has no weapons right now. Mm-hmm. And I see that a lot of people are adamant about drafting a Josh Allen and Dalton Kincaid stack, right? But one of the biggest things I want to point out is that, guys, Dawson Knox was like injured throughout the most of the time. That's why Kincaid was out there, because the year prior to that, when Kincaid was not there, dude, Josh Allen loves Dawson Knox in the red zone, man. Like I had Dawson Knox as like an 11th or 12th round pick, and he was doing me wonders. There's chemistry, man. But Josh Allen is like an overall. It's like if the way I watched like another YouTuber explain it is, in order for me to draft a tight end at that 3rd round, he needs to finish as a QB1 in order for me to get the value back on him. Otherwise, it's pretty much useless. Like. And that's like an eye-opening moment for me because it's like, you know what? It is kind of right. Because if you don't go 3 for 3 in your first 3 rounds in your fantasy football, you might as well come last place because you're not going to win the whole thing. But that's where it is. DJ Moore. Last year I drafted DJ Moore in the 6th round pick. At the 6th round, when everybody else was telling, like a bunch of YouTubers were telling me to fade him. I am a Chicago guy. I live in Chicago, and I was like, DJ Moore will be the alpha. He is the number 1. But this year, considering that there's Rome Odunze and there is Keenan Allen as well, target shares will be diluted for 100%. Not to mention that Cole Kmet will be a red zone threat as well, which is a lot of people don't address. So I would just, like, me being me, I just prefer to stay away from like Green Bay, the Chicago Bears, and like the Texans wide receiver stack rooms, just because you're just playing Russian roulette and you just don't know which wide receiver is going to go up. Because okay, for example, let's see. Okay, I can't really like pinpoint where Stephon Diggs went. Okay, Stephon Diggs went in the 2nd round, like at the 2-3 turn, right? Like that's too, like having a Diggs, having like a Texans or Bears receiver room is just too risky because target shares are diluted. And if you're going to rely on, let's say, DJ Moore to win you your fantasy, fantasy weekend playoffs, man. And you next thing you know, Roma Dunze went for like 30 fantasy points. Like you can't really do anything about that because that's just how the offense is structured. Because hey, maybe one week they're gonna have to focus on one guy and then the other week on the other guy. But that's just me. And then going on to the next, I like Mixon because part of the reason why it's like I don't like the wide receiver stacks, but I do like the running backs for those three teams that I mentioned before, just because of the fact that hey, they will have goal line work for sure. They're the clear cut RB1s. I believe that Mixon and Swift should be held up pretty high in terms of regard, just because of the fact that how much upside they have. Because both of the quarterbacks are not rushing quarterbacks caliber, where they're like big enough to run it in the red zone. Like Anthony Richardson or Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts, they won't have like the touchdowns taken away from them. So I just like that their ceiling is not capped in that sense. Now, part of the reason why I joined this stream was just to hear opinions about what everyone thought about Jahmyr Gibbs being picked in the 10th round, because I am pretty high on Gibbs, and that's just being me because some YouTuber ran the math, and I don't know the exact numbers, but if Jahmyr Gibbs had played like the first 5 weeks of the NFL schedule, and he had like actual playing time, where he had 50% of the splits, he would finish as like a top 3 or top 2 RB just because of his receiving potential. Like it's that crazy, man. Like if like I hope like Gibbs doesn't go down, but if Monty goes down, I can easily see Gibbs surpassing CMC, Brees Hall, as well as Bijan Robinson as running back one. That's just a hot take. That's just me. But as far as like let's say I'm applying David Montgomery's role of just like getting the red zone work, I guess he's like a fine pick in the 6th pick. Just like you're gonna hold him as like a Gibbs handcuff. But if they're going to split the 50-50 workload just like last year, I'd be fine with David Montgomery. Your only biggest problem is if Gibbs' workload will increase, which I think it will increase just because of the fact that he was a rookie, and now he's a year two running back with like the best offensive line rated by PFF already. I think that Gibbs has like the higher upside by a lot, but I would be fine with David Montgomery in this round. And then I'm just gonna kind of group these wide receivers together. I really don't like D-Hop and Addison just because of the fact that D-Hop just got injured. I know it's kind of sad to say this. I was a pretty big D-Hop fan when he was on the Texans with Deshaun Watson. Man, that was like crazy work. He was giving like Mahomes a work for his money, but D-Hop is just not like. I don't think he's like a word to me as like a starter in my fantasy league, to be honest. And then I'm gonna brush past Rashee Rice. I'll get back to him real quick. Jordan Addison. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the news, but he just recently got arrested for a DUI and all that stuff, and his head is not in the right space. And I just don't know how that makes me feel about that. Just because of that, if you're gonna lead on him, like okay, he is like let's say an 11th round pick for a reason. Not, I wouldn't say 11th. How many rounds do you have? 6. A 9th round pick. So if a 9th round pick for Addison is fine, just because of that fact that you're banking on him to kind of stabilize and kind of bounce back, I guess. But not too high on Diop, and Addison would have definitely went for an alternative there. But now I'm going to come back to Rashee Rice. Now the Chiefs. Now my problem is the Chiefs and the Bills have like the same exact problem in terms of the wide receiver room, because you don't know who the designated clear alpha is. It's not like everybody in the Chiefs wide receiver room is like sure solid like guys like on the Texans like Nico and Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell. Like you don't know like how well they can go off, and you don't know who's the wide receiver one. So you're kind of playing Russian roulette with this the Chiefs stack as well. And it's just kind of weird because you don't know who's going to go off, because you do have Rashee Rice, you have Hollywood Brown, and I'm pretty sure there's one more receiver's name that I know one of you guys will know. Like he's sitting there, but there is one more receiver involved in this offense who will be diluting shares. And then obviously you have Kelsey on top of that because he's big time. So it's kind of weird. So that's just me. Now Goddard, I would have preferred actually to get another tight end just because like I'm a big top 7 tight end guy. But with the new signing of the offensive coordinator for Philly, I just have to point out and say that I am really high on Devonta Smith and AJ Brown this year because Philadelphia ranked in like I think like the bottom 5 teams of running pre-motion snap routes,
Fact.
and if you guys and I don't watch college football that often, but if you guys know, Devonta Smith did win a Heisman as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
And if you looked at his college work, that man was running a crazy amount of pre-motion snap routes where he would just go into motion, run across the field, and he would literally take the ball to the end zone for like 40, 50 yards, just always in college. And I feel like Devonta Smith, I'm pretty high on. Same thing with AJ Brown. And I don't think Goddard is going to, sure, maybe you can have Goddard as a backup tight end too, but I would not have Goddard as my tight end one. That's just where I stand.
Right. So, so let me go from the top, and I get to some of the things that you said. Great breakdown too. I use all I think I would tell you just because we're gonna have to go through all these teams. So if you can just kind of go through a little bit quicker, but I love your breakdown, man. This is cutting edge content. So we can do a little bit quicker, but we'll start with Breach Hall. I love the Breach Hall at the 1-5. I love. I don't like the Josh Jacobs at number 2. I don't like because I'm fading Josh Jacobs. I don't trust that team to be consistent with him. I think he's going to have some good games, but this is the Jordan Love team. They just paid him. So with Dontavius Wicks, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, all the tight ends, even A.J. Dillon, I just don't trust Josh Jacobs. Now, if I could get him in the 4th or 5th round, I love him. Josh Allen in the 3rd round, I think is good value, even in single quarterback. DJ Moore, he did get the deal. I just like it's not DJ, it's nothing personal. I just don't want all those type of guys on the same team. Keenan Allen is not chopped liver. Rome Medusa, I don't know. I'm not really high on him. I know he's good, but that's more target competition. So I just don't want none of those type of offense. Joe Mixon, he's okay. As a 3rd running back, I think he's fine. But I don't want to count on him. So as a 3rd running back, I like him in this type of format that I have. David Montgomery, I like David Montgomery. Actually, to go against what you said, you right, but they never gonna use Jahmyr Gibbs like that. They gonna extend his career out. They not gonna give. Now, if David Montgomery goes down, they will use Jahmyr Gibbs more, but they still gonna allow somebody else to come in there and take targets. So what the NFL is doing now, they don't want to run these elite passing running backs into the ground. They want to kind of make them like Alvin Kamara. But Jahmyr Gibbs can still be a top 5 running back, and he still will have some boom games. I don't think he's gonna get the CMC workload. Maybe 2 or 3 games he might have a workload like that, but that's not going to be weekly because he would get hurt quickly. So David Montgomery is always going to have value on the goal line just for the fact of we don't want to run Jahmyr in the ground. Now, in real football playoffs, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get that workload that you're saying, and he's going to be special. So I think they actually like that they didn't use him early in the season because he was good and prime for late on in the season when they did really need him. So I don't think he's never going to get bail cow early and often. So I like David Montgomery in the 6. This is a solid team. I'm giving this team with the breach, the Josh Allen, I think it's at a B, B plus. D-Hop, I'm not touching D-Hop or Addison, so I'm actually bringing this team down to a B. That's a regular B, maybe a B minus. So let me see here. Do we all want to go down there? Yeah, we'll go back to the other way. Let's see. Yeah, we'll keep it that way. So I don't want to touch D Hop or Jordan Addison. I like Rashid Rice in the 8th round because he does have a special role on this team. He is a guy when he gets the ball in his hands, he's dynamic. So I think I'm willing to take him as one of the weapons, but it's a lot of weapons out there. That's why I'm not even high on Isaiah Pacheco because I just feel like this team, I feel like Patrick Mahomes is like Derrick Henry. He's the guy that I can count on, and Travis Kelce. Other than that, the rest of these guys, they're gonna implement them in different ways in different times of the season. That's why I think Pacheco is their guy later in the season. Why they're not gonna run Pacheco in the ground and get him hurt. They're gonna kind of use him when they need him. And then when it gets cold, they will go with Pacheco. And Rice is going to be part of that, but I do think he's going to be one of the consistent wide receivers because the way they deploy him with catches. Dallas Goedert, man, in the last round, why not? You can go and stream another tight end. It doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter about Goedert. But I think this team with the D-Hop and Addison, I took it down to maybe to me a B or B minus. That's just my 2 cents on it. What's going on, Alex? How you doing, bro?
What's going on, man? We got a flight in the morning going to the Fantasy Football Expo. So
yes, sir, man.
yeah,
I hope you have a
finally
good
here.
time, man.
Appreciate it, man.
How that baby doing?
Just got him down. So figured out. I've been wanting to get on one of these with you.
Yes, sir.
Probably need to eat here in a little bit, but I wanted to at least break down your squad. I ain't gonna let you do your own.
Right. Okay. All right, so let's move on. We got B in this one, so let me end this one, and we can move on to
roll.
Yes. Let me make sure. Let me see Underdog. Let me make sure we did. Okay, yeah, he got a B. So we do this poll real quick, and then we can start. Actually, Alex, you can start with that team while I'm fixing this.
Yeah, so I like to start with Jamar Chase. We're really waiting for that breakout, that real breakout from Jamar Chase. So if that could be this year, you're going to be the one that'll be that person that's holding Jamar Chase at that point in time. So it could be this year. They got rid of Tyler Boyd, so there's more targets around, but he's still got a lot of potential left, I think. Drake London got a new quarterback, so I'm good with that. I do like to have some good receivers in here. How many receiving starting spots? I know it's full PPR, but how many?
Actually, the starting spot, it's only 3.
Three receivers. That's good.
Yeah, but you can start all flexes. But you can start them all.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So with the running backs, like that was an interesting conversation y'all were having about Gibbs because, like, when you think about fantasy football, you still got to think about what is the real NFL doing, and the real NFL, they view Travis Etienne as a workhorse bell cow. The real Etienne, they view a Bijan Robinson as a workhorse bell cow, not a Jahmyr Gibbs. That's just not what the real NFL sees him as, and that's fine for fantasy. For PPR, you can have a Kamara type season, but Etienne's going to get fed a whole lot. Between him and Trevor Lawrence, I think they're going to rely on those two a lot because you got some new players in that offense outside of Christian Kirk, and Evan Ingram. So, yeah, Etienne, that should be a nice little piece because I don't want to go reach for some of these other running backs. Like, yeah, I would like some, Bijan, but Etienne's he had well outplayed Bijan last year. Different offense, but I'm good with what Etienne can produce at that value.
Right.
And then Metcalf, he's led his team most years he's been there. Geno had a decent season, and Walker, the league they view Walker as a bell cow type. They're going to give him the rock, let him work. So these are 2 anchor running backs that you can go to work with. He went light at running back the rest of the way, so didn't waste too much capital there. You got George Kittle, who potentially Brandon Ayuk's out of there, so that's more for Kittle. And Kittle already has some monster weeks. Some of those weeks, Kittle can just win for you on his own. So there's a little bit of upside there. And then you got the Joe Burrow stack with Jamar Chase because just like you were mentioning earlier, why not get that stack? I usually like the stacks in more of those tournaments where it's just more players. Like if it's a FFPC where you still have to start lineups, but then after you win your own division, you go on to the next round, and then you do need that more unique kind of build. But for your own league, it's still fun to get that stack in there. And the rest of these guys, I think Christian Watson probably next year is getting drafted higher than this. Just really good quarterback, good offense. It's hard for anybody to get on one receiver. And as your 5th receiver, why not? Sure, you want someone in a more funnel target offense, but yeah, I like these picks. And you got your handcuff for Walker there. Usually you don't want your own handcuff, but Charbonnet's solid.
Right.
So yeah, bro. I give it a roll B+.
Right. I love the Jamar Chase at the 1.6. I would have took somebody different, but that's just my prerogative. That's just not like I'm not trying to say that Jamar Chase is a bad pick. Drake London, I'm not big on him in the second round, but I do know he's going to get the targets. I'm just worried about Kirk Cousins being healthy, but it's not. It's a good pick. You could smash right there. But I'm a little bit worried. I want something a little bit cleaner, and I'm going to judge it per se. But I still think right now I would call this an A- B plus. ETN takes you to an A- automatically. I love everything that Alex said. DK Metcalf, I love his boom potential. He's not a hyper target guy, but the boom is what's going to win you the weeks. And the Kenneth Walker,
Oh, we lost him. We lost him.
Yeah,
Hey.
I can't wait for him to come back, man.
Yeah, no, it happens. So yeah, it's almost that time for the season. Let's get it. Hey, he's back.
Mhm.
okay, let me share. I don't know what the heck happened there.
I'm probably not going to watch any of the preseason games tomorrow, but I mean, this is a full slate of games, so we might get to see a little peek of some players.
Right.
Yeah, looking really forward to Jaden Daniels tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if I hit a button or something. But anyway, so yeah, DK Metcalf. So I'm gonna tell you why I like the Walker pick, bro, and I love how you did this. You got the insurance plan with Zach Charbonnet. That's why I like drafting my own handcuff, because I know that either one of these two guys is going to be the starting running back, and I'm okay with that. And I call this a squeeze, not just a handcuff. I think it's a squeeze because Zach Charbonnet going to play because Kenneth Walker has improved. He can block well in the passing game, but he's a stud runner between the tackles. So if something happens to Kenneth Walker, you good. If they use both guys, you have the choice and a chance to play either one. So I like that. Love Kittle. Kittle's booming right now. With IU gone, Kittle's going to be a top 5 tight end as he always been. Joe Burrow in the 7th is always great value. So you took the injury dip and you drafted him at the right ADP. I love it. And you went with a upside rookie wide receiver. Love that, man. This is one of your best drafts, maybe your second best draft that I've seen here. I love the Christian Watson. That's upside. And I know IU said he don't like Christian Watson. I disagree. To me, the difference of Christian Watson and the rest of those weapons is he's the most explosive guy. And that's why he's the number one on the depth chart. And everybody else keep talking about route running, targets, and all that. It doesn't matter with that type of boom that he is. He's going to get those special design plays. It's kind of like Debo was years ago with San Francisco. He wasn't the best route runner. He wasn't this, but he had a special skill set that made him be better than other guys. And that's what Christian Watson is. I think he's going to always be their touchdown guy when they want to throw it in the red zone for the fade. I think he's going to get in the rounds. He's fast, as long as he stays healthy. So with the injury risk, that's what worries me. So man, I'm gonna give you an A-. I think this is a really good team. What you want to say about it, IUs?
Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and say that Jamar Chase, love where you picked him. I think 6 is perfect for him. Drake London, as you guys already mentioned, kind of risky with Kirk just coming back. You don't know what you really expect, but he does have upside. And you know what they say in fantasy football, man. If you're not risking it in any of the rounds, man, you're not gonna win. You have to risk it somewhere at some point to win the whole thing. So yeah, I kind of like Drake London. Maybe a little too early, but I'm fine with it. Just if you're talking about the safer pick. ETN, I agree 100%. He is going to be the bell cow just because of the fact that Calvin Ridley's gone. You're going to have like a whole lot of free targets. I think ETN is like pretty much that guy when it comes to getting the full workload. Coming back around, DK Metcalf, just not sure about the quarterback play, man, which is why I really like Kenneth Walker because he's like a really solid stud runner, just running everything down. So I really like Kenneth Walker, just not DK Metcalf. Personally, I would have kind of went ahead and drafted like a DJ Moore, who's like a wide receiver too. I kind of go against what I'm saying about investing in wide receivers who are in diluted target shares, but it is what it is. That's just in this mock draft scenario. Do love Kenneth Walker. I expect George Kittle's ADP to rise quite significantly in the upcoming weeks, just because of the fact that if they say Ayuk is really gone, I expect Debo and George Kittle to shoot up the boards because I think Kittle will be more free to move in that offense. As I said, love the Burrow sack. If Burrow can stay healthy, and there was a stat saying that if Burrow was healthy last year, consistently throughout the whole entire time. He could have ended as quarterback 3 or 2, which is pretty shocking considering that you have Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts running it in for touchdowns. But Joe Burrow has that upside. So if you hit on that Jamar and Burrow stack, you might end up winning the league. I'm just going to be straight up honest. Like, that's just how it is. And then you have your 2 wide receivers you drafted after that. We have the rookie, really nice. You have upside there in Jacksonville. And then Christian Watson. I guess I am biased as a Bears fan, man. It is what it is. I don't know what to tell you, but I have an open mind and I'm willing to listen to you guys. So yeah, if you're telling me Christian Watson's that explosive guy, love that. And I know you guys were just mentioning that drafting your own handcuff is not really the big upside play right there. But just me knowing the fact that if I have to draft like I guess you would call a dead zone running back in those dead zone rounds, and you're kind of risking for one of those guys to be your workhorse. The biggest cuffs I would probably go for is I like Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, especially if I were to draft Kyron Williams, I would like to have Blake Corum as my handcuff as well because I think he's like a really valuable running back. But overall, A- for this team.
So it seems like me and you, I used to have we agreed on a couple of teams that it was A's. What do you have to say about your team, Ro?
I mean, I think it's a good team. I don't want to go too much into depth on my own team, but I like the Jamar Chase pick at the 6 overall. He's actually my 101. So me getting him at the 6th spot is
all right.
great value. Drake London, someone I consistently see go in the back half of the first round or early second round, so I feel comfortable getting him in the mid-second. We get Travis Etienne. I like me some Travis Etienne. I've been high on him for quite a while. I like the fact that he has his college quarterback. Maybe he could catch a couple more passes this year.
Hey, Roll, I know you're on a roll there, man. Since some people were speaking on the Drake London pick, I'm just curious. I know you like the pick. Who else would you or y'all would have preferred instead of London if he's not going London there? You know, would you rather go with the upside of Marvin Harrison Jr.? Because, you know, outside of that, I mean, I like the pick unless you're trying to go quarterback.
Yeah, the only person I was considering there was Olave and Harrison, but I ended up going London. I feel like he has the safest floor.
I would have went with Olave there just because we've seen what he can kind of do with Derek Carr already in the last season. And I've seen like a lot of people mention Olave as like a guy with a safe floor. It's just that we just haven't seen what Kirk has been able to do. I haven't seen any videos on him in like the summer camp training sessions or anything like that. But yeah, definitely Olave or London or Marvin Harrison. Any of those 3 guys at that spot would have pretty much done it for me.
I mean, for me, it's kind of like a 3-way coin. I could have went with any of them, and I feel fine.
Okay. All right. So it looks like you got a B. So we'll keep it moving. And usually I skip, but Alex is here, so I want to go ahead and do me. So, Alex, you want to start off?
Yeah, man. So like the Bijan Robinson pick, got the Texas jersey behind me, so you already know a little bit of bias there. But I do think this guy is set up to be a workhorse, but also for fantasy, he's got the pass catching skill set, maybe as good as Christian McCaffrey or Brees Hall. I mean, Brees Hall is number 2 in catches, I believe, last year. You know, he's up there too, but that's just such a big weapon for these guys to be able to get the goal line touches, the honey touches, as TD would call it, and also get the PPR work, because that's what Gibbs is lacking. You know, I see it as a tier drop off after Bijan into the running backs after that. So like that start and getting Derrick Henry there, this could be a really exciting season for Derrick Henry. Best offense he's ever been in, but just a little bit of risk with the age. I'm betting on it though. Like you were talking about gambling on, or taking a bet on the upside. I mean, we've seen Henry be good. He's in a better situation. The only gamble is just the age. I'm just gonna take the gamble and keep it moving. So I like that. And just like with the London thing, it's not too many people after there where I'm like, for sure they're outscoring Derrick Henry in that spot. And then you come around and get Anthony Richardson, so you still capture that QB upside where that looked so explosive last year that I think everyone was about to lose their mind. If you were live watching the box score, looking at Anthony Richardson put up those like 2 TDs in like a quarter before he got injured, let's see what happens. And then you got the stack with Pittman. So, Pittman today, I think Josh Downs got injured, and he's not expected. I don't think he's expected to start week 1.
Right.
Josh Downs, so the next man up is Ricky Adonai Mitchell out of Texas. Pittman's gonna get some work. He just got paid, so Pittman is eating as much, at minimum, as much as Drake London, who you got 2 rounds later. You got Pittman there, so that's great. David Njoku, they already reported he's a focal point of the offense.
Right.
This isn't just a regular tight end. He is going to be a focal point of the offense, and he was in last year. But it doesn't even matter. Throw out everything you want to say about last year. Now going into this season, they are saying they want him to be the focal point, a focal point of the offense. And Mark Cooper's actually in trade rumors for what it's worth. I don't think it's going to happen because they would be swapping Brandon Ayuk, so that doesn't really affect them. But Njoku is supposed to be a focal point of this offense, and I like Zamir White a lot as well. Every game he played last year, 20 touches, 20 carries. Maybe he gets some pass catching work added to it. Not expecting that, but a decent RB3 for sure. And then you got a little bit of upside with these rookies because somebody's got to be that next, superstar rookie to pop up. And you have 2 guys that are already day one, potentially the number 1 wide receivers on their team. So if you're going with the rookie, even though Brian Thomas Jr. was drafted ahead of these guys are in line to get more work than he is. And then Chase Brown, it seems like he's been crowned the RB1 for the Bengals. So, I mean, TD, I'm not being biased. Like, knowing that there's a lot of flexibility with those flex positions, I'm good with this. I do like more receivers in my builds, but just knowing how those lineups are, and you can, kind of work around it, I'm good with this, man. I give it an A-. I'm a little nervous with not having more receivers, but you also got Polk there at the end, and that's like one of my favorite guys that I would think has the potential to be that Puka Nacua type. Just like later round guy to pop off. I know it's second round, but I mean, I don't know. It seemed like a slept on offense where he could easily explode because no one is even drafting him.
Right. It's gonna be between him and Javon Baker and Demario Douglas, and I'm willing to take a bet on Pope because of his draft capital and also watching him. Man, that Washington had some killer wide receivers this year. So, but yeah, go ahead, Ayush.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say that Bijan Robinson, can't go nothing wrong with Bijan, man. The O line is good.
Facts.
It's pretty safe. You don't need to worry about it. Next, Derrick Henry. I just want to go ahead and point out that the Commanders and the Ravens have the best running back strength of schedules in terms of fantasy football. According to Andrew Kirchhoff, that's like the guy I watched like the YouTube video for his strength of schedule analysis. So I do like, because I had Gus Edwards, I picked him off the waiver wire last year. And man, I did not have a running back too because I forgot who went down. I had like some handicap running back too, but I had Gus Edwards, man. And that was like a free 10, 15 points just off the waivers I was getting off just from 10 touchdowns, man. So I believe in Derrick Henry, just like, rolling the dice. He is on a good offense. And there is also another stat saying that 98% of the top tier players who end up moving to another team don't end up accomplishing what they're supposed to. Somewhere along the lines like that. You have their 2% exceptions, that being like CMC. You have other great players as well, but I believe in Derrick Henry in this offense. Now, me being me, I genuinely drafted a 12-man full PPR on ESPN, and I'm seeing that on Sleeper, if I'm right, Alex, like you guys help me out. Quarterbacks tend to go earlier in Sleeper, if I'm correct.
Because people play a lot of Dynasty on here, and Superflex is usually the Dynasty format, so people are just used to going QB early, and I think all the ADPs are higher.
Okay. So everyone's high on QBs. Well, in that case, if you're going to go ahead and reach for QBs, I do like Richardson completely just because you said, like, I was playing him last year, and just because of that, I saw those touchdowns being put on me before he went down. I was kind of shaking and trembling during that week, but it is what it is. He has really high upside. Now, my biggest thing is I'm like questioning these next two picks, Alex, because Gardner Minshew was the QB1 last year when Richardson ended up going down. And Gardner Minshew is like a quarterback who he's not going to rush a lot, and he tends to air out his targets.
Yeah.
Pittman ended up getting fired. So can you like go ahead and remind me of like the stats, like what really went on with Pittman before Gardner Minshew came in, and like what type of stats he was putting up in those earlier weeks? You need to give me an average. You don't need to give me anything specific.
I don't have it off the top, but he was just okay, to be honest. Like, it wasn't like an amazing season. He Gardner did end up being a Pro Bowler, but I think there was some Downs injuries a little bit later, so some of that kind of plays into it. And they had no help from a wide receiver 3. But Minshew, like TD wise, it was capped out at 2, and it wasn't consistent. And he had, for fantasy points, I remember he had some down games also. So it was like Minshew himself wasn't really an asset, but Pittman had a career year, and had so many targets. He had a 30% target share, which that is a number that's incredibly high. Like, I wouldn't even expect that this year. He, like, 26 would be good. 26% target share would be good. 28%. So he was getting hyper targeted. But what we see with Devontae Adams, because you referenced this with Gardner Minshew, who's now on the Raiders, right? Because
Yeah, exactly.
he's got Devontae Adams, who always gets hyper targeted, and so I feel like Adams will be fine. But in relation to Zamir White, he's Zach Moss balled out, and because there was no rushing threat at the quarterback
Yeah.
position. And,
Right.
and I think Zamir White is better than Zach Moss, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. I can agree with you on that. Just a little shocked by you mentioning about David Njoku being a focal offense point, because I did make a trade for Njoku in like week 12 or 13 in fantasy football where he wasn't really doing much. I just got him as like a throw on as a bench piece because why not? And like that first seed ended up trading me, and I beat the first seed guy in the championship playoffs with Njoku just going absolutely crazy. So I do
Yeah.
like Njoku, man. I do like Njoku. It's like I've never seen a perspective of him going this high. But if you are right, and there's like some sleeper news that
go look that up. Because you're saying if I'm right, that is a fact that was said by the coaching staff. Will it be a fact that they actually do it and fall through or follow through on it? That's another story.
Well, I've been on Njoku for 2 to 3 years now, and when people said that, oh, I can't do it, I don't see fantasy that way, and so sometimes I can be on players. That's why I love Dynasty. I don't need to see a guy getting hyper targeted to know that he can be great, and that's why I like Dynasty.
Yeah.
And David Njoku, man, this year I won't be surprised if he's the number 1 tight end. I know that might be a little bit of hyperbole, but he's special. And everybody kept saying before camp, TD, Deshaun Watson. I said, I do not care. There's no way you're going to tell me that the coaching staff is not going to tell Deshaun Watson to throw him the ball. And then we go in camp, and then now they on the same page. And I kind of would say, I knew that. So I love David Njoku. Actually, I was nervous. The guys that follow my channel, man, they was going to snipe me. So I was so glad that I got him. And I love David Njoku. I'm waiting to after that first tier of tight ends going, and I'm getting David Njoku, and I feel like I got maybe the best pick of the draft.
Hey, and TD, I'm about to jump off here in a minute,
Okay.
but yeah, man, like you're saying, you do have to look ahead in advance, and that's why you're good at Dynasty. Like with tight ends specifically, we're not usually getting a Sam Laporta because the offense isn't set up in a way where that person can even develop, because they have to learn how to block and have to do the pass catching, and then also the targets aren't usually just available for a tight end right out the gate like they were. So we are hoping a Njoku, or maybe this coming or next season, like I think Noah Fant in 2025, he might get an opportunity once Tyler Lockett's out of there, or if he gets on a new team. Like those type of super athletic guys, like you just got to give them time, because usually it's around age 27 where a tight end is considered in the prime. Kelsey broke out later. A lot of these guys that are up here, we got a McBride. I know we got the Laportas and Kincaids, but that's more of a rarity. Usually these guys are kind of popping off a little bit later. So this is about that time, man. Hey, I'm gonna jump off here though.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mainly play Dynasty, y'all. If y'all want any content on Dynasty, hit up Dynasty Football Key over there on YouTube. But I got like a bunch of redrafts about to just rattle off day after day after this weekend when I get back from this expo. So I'm pretty excited for that, man.
Yep. I appreciate you coming by, bro.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Yep. You too.
Take it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna wrap this up real quick. Love Zamir White, RB1. I think he just wasn't able to beat Josh Jacobs out at the position, but he has pretty high upside. And then with the next 3 picks, Coleman, McConkey, and Chase Brown, all these guys are pretty much studs. They have like the chance to be the alphas. Just based off like the catches, like the summer camp videos I'm seeing on Coleman, I'm pretty high on them as well. And reports just came out like the head coach of the Bengals is he likes what he's seeing from Chase Brown. I expect Chase Brown to be the RB, like be in a 50-50 split with Zach Moss, but I do like Chase Brown way more. And Jalen Polk as a last pick is like pretty great for upside as well. So I would like to give this team. I would give it an A-. I'd give it an A- for sure.
Yep, appreciate it. Yep. Just to cap off, well, Ro, I'm gonna let you go, Ro. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I like the Bijan pick. I'm okay with the Derrick Henry pick. Maybe there's not a running back I would have preferred there. Maybe a receiver like Marvin Harrison, Drake London, Chris Olave, but I don't hate the Derrick Henry pick at all. A-Rich, I'm gonna be real. This is a pick I don't like. I liked A-Rich coming out of college. I feel like he's getting a little bit overhyped just because of a couple games. But I could be wrong. In redraft, I don't mind him so much, but him going at like the 107 in Dynasty startups is just like a price I cannot pay. So in redraft, maybe I would take a chance on him. I don't know. I wouldn't say a terrible pick, but not a pick I'm a big fan of. Michael Pittman in the 4th, you get that stack. I like that pick. David Njoku, would have preferred Kyle Pitts, but I know you like you guys. I can't really fault you for that. Zamir White in the 6, I like that, and then I like the rest of the picks as well.
Right. Yeah, and I understand. I switched to the. I'm not taking a lot of A-Rich, but I wanted to take the upside. It was a mock draft, and I just wanted to see if I could build a certain team around them. That's why I took Michael Pittman. And with the Derrick Henry, I wanted A-Chain there, so it took me a while. I didn't want Derrick Henry there, and I didn't want to draft a rookie wide receiver there. I could have took, like you said, Drake London, but I just need to make sure that Kirk Cousins is going to be healthy. Michael Pittman, I think he's going to be the number 1 target getter. I think he's going to have a lot of one-on-one coverage because you have to stop A-Rich from running the ball. So that's why I took Michael Pittman. I think he's going to have a big season. Njoku, man, like again, I told you already, I love Njoku. I mean, I don't really. It's nothing for me to say about that. I just think he's going to have a wonderful season. I mean, he's 260 pounds, running 4.5, and his hands has got better, and he's the best blocker, they say, at camp right now. So that means when they start talking about a guy blocking that they paid to catch passes, you know he's about to be special. Maybe like on a Gronk type level. Zamir White, just drafting a guy who's gonna get goal line targets. I mean, goal line carries, honey touches. So I got Zamir right there. Love the value. Keon Coleman and Ladd. I'm not big on rookies, but in this area, I had to take those guys. They got upside. Nobody else on their team to me is better than them as wide receivers. So that's why I took them together. Chase Brown, I love Chase Brown. I think he's so explosive. He could be like maybe a baby Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's going to have some big plays. He's going to catch passes, and I'd rather take him than to go with Zach Moss. And Pope, I'm just taking a chance. That's how I saw that. So, yeah, I would think my team is probably like a B+, A-. Okay, we're gonna try to get through these teams kind of quick. I'm gonna go through B Silver. AJ Brown. I love the AJ. Oh, I don't love the AJ Brown pick. I think you took him too early without getting a stack with it. I wouldn't take AJ Brown in the first round this year. The reason why I think they're gonna pass the ball more to Devontae Smith, according to what Ayush was saying. I think Devontae Smith is gonna have a breakout season. So I think AJ Brown fantasy points is gonna go down. I love the A chain in at the 2.5. I know people say that's too early, but I think that's a upside play. I think he could have big plays, and I think you win fantasy football with big plays. Then some people don't play in those type of leagues, but in my leagues, when you get big plays, usually you get a lot of points, and you don't need the guy to keep getting targeted to win the week. He can have just 2 big plays a game, and I feel good with that floor. Trey McBride was one of my favorite tight ends. Him and Njoku. I'm going with Njoku just because Trey McBride is going earlier, but I love Trey McBride. I actually like him over Marvin Harrison, but it's because it's a tight end. I can get him later. Marvin Harrison is going in the 2nd round. Nico in the 4th is okay. That's a committee. In the 4th and 5th round, I'm okay with taking these top of the line committee guys. So I'm okay with Nico there. Ramondre Stevenson, I love him this year. So I'm taking him at the 5th. I think that's great value. Right now, I would say this team is A minus. I love the A-Chain, McBride, Nico, and Ramondre. AJ Brown, but he is a good player. So he's going to have some boom weeks. Jaden Reed, again, going to what IU saying, I'm not taking nobody off of Green Bay at that ADP right there at the 6th round, other than maybe Jordan Love or Christian Watson. And I'm not even taking Christian Watson right there. I'm waiting later. So I'm not really big on that pick. I love the Jordan Love pick. That's gas. I think Jordan Love has top 5 upside. Mostert, I'm just not getting to him. I think he's going to have regression. He had, 18 touchdowns? It just, he's not going to get 18, but did he get 12? Maybe. Zach Moss, I'm not touching Zach Moss this year. I thought he was going to get the goal line. Now that they talking about Chase Brown, I really don't want Zach Moss. He could be good. Could I pick him up off waivers if he's on waivers or somebody drop him? Yeah, but I'm not going to draft him on my team with all the other value out here. I'd rather have Charbonnet and have, something like that than to take a chance on Zach Moss. That's just me. Chuba Hubbard, I think he actually is going to get carries, but I've heard a lot about Miles Sanders, so it makes me a little bit nervous on Chuba, but it's your last pick, so I'm good with that. What do you think, Roll, about this thing?
I actually like the AJ Brown pick. I just can't get behind him going ahead of Jefferson. But I don't hate it. Von A-Chain, that's a fine pick in round 2. I think Trey McBride is an okay pick, but I would have preferred Kelsey there or even Sam Laporta. Nico Collins, just looking who was there, not a whole lot I prefer. Maybe DK Metcalf, maybe Brandon Ayuk, maybe Devontae Smith. Maybe Nico Collins is the number 1, and that ADP really does pan out, but we'll see. Ramondre, I'm okay with there. I mean, there's not really any running back I would have preferred over him, so I don't mind that pick at all. Jaden Reed, I feel like that's a little early in my opinion. Would have easily took Keenan Allen over him. I think Keenan Allen still has one good season left in him. He was like wide receiver 7 last year. Jordan Love in the 7th. That's nice value. I'll take that. Raheem Mostert, Zach Moss, Chuba Hubbard. I also like Miles Sanders a little bit. I think those two are going to split some carries while Jonathan Brooks gets healthy. And then after Jonathan Brooks gets healthy, I feel like he's going to dominate that backfield. Raheem Mostert, I definitely do think is going to regress. And Zach Moss, I'm actually okay with this pick. He could definitely be a starter this year. All in all, I'd probably give it a B.
Okay. What do you think, Ayush?
Yeah. Just to go through it quick. Okay, so TD, just based off what I heard, you did say AJ Brown is going too early in this draft. Just to be clear, this is not a dynasty. This is a redraft mock draft, correct?
Right, correct.
Okay. And right now, AJ Brown has one at the 8th. And based off my understanding is that if I were in my home league right now, this is exactly how the first 8 rounds of the fantasy thing would have went. And Rolls, just to help you out, you're like, oh, you can't get your head around Jefferson falling to the 10th spot. I'll be lucky if that happens because a lot of people just don't believe in that Vikings offense at all, man. It's a reality because they're scared of Sam Darnold. They're scared of Aaron Jones being an old running back, Addison with the DUI, Hawkinson being out. It's like a complete mess in the offensive there's like a reason why Jefferson's falling there, and it's like it's reality. It is what it is. But going on, I do like I don't like AJ Brown. I agree with TD. Kind of went too early, but it is what it is. Like A Chain, a lot of explosive upside. If he can stay healthy and not split workload with Mostert or like even the new running back that the Dolphins just drafted, I think
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I want to get your take. You don't think A-Chain can be like Gibb, just like it, the same way with David Montgomery and everything?
What you mean, like be more
Like, you
specific.
don't think they're going to deploy A-Chain the way that they deploy Jahmyr Gibbs with David Montgomery? So why could it be A-Chain and Raheem Mostert, just like David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs?
Oh, never really thought about that. You're actually right.
Okay.
You
That's why
actually,
I wanted to ask that. Okay. I'm
One
I
sorry.
agree.
thing I wanted to say is that I feel like Justin Jefferson is quarterback group. I mean, we saw like the numbers he was putting up at the back end of last season with like a backup quarterback. I would say don't mind Sam Darnold and JJ McCarthy this year. For Jefferson, I feel like he's still going to be elite. So I don't really see a case where AJ Brown should go ahead, even though I really like AJ Brown. Like, he's one of my guys I really like. I just kind of take him ahead of Jefferson.
Yeah, and just to tell you, I was pick 101 last year, and I did draft Jefferson at the first spot, and I stuck with him the whole entire time when he was injured with his hamstring, and I
Mhm.
waited, I waited, I waited. I was able to carve out. I barely made like the playoff, like the top 8 for the playoffs, and I won the whole thing just because I like waited for Jefferson,
Good
and
shit.
just to make it worse, I drafted Jefferson as my first pick, and then at the 2-3 turn, I took Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Jones. And yeah, you guys know how that ended up going. But luckily, I was able to draft DJ Moore, Nico Collins in the 10th round was a huge
Mm.
hit for me. Same thing with I had a lot of other like sleeper picks that people didn't know about. Gus Edwards, I was able to move a lot of players. All I'm trying to say is, oh, I also had Zay Flowers, who did pretty
Mm.
decent for his rookie year, and I was able to move some pieces. So yeah, I won the whole entire thing. So I definitely think that no matter what, like you can win the whole entire fantasy football after walking away from the draft board like really poorly, but that is what it is. That's just me. But
Fact.
yeah, TD, I agree with you on like A Chain moving like Gibbs and all that stuff. McBride as the tight end, the first tight end being off the board, I don't really like that, just because of the fact that Kelsey's like literally right there, man. Like it is what it is. But as far as the first tight end off the board, would have preferred Kelsey, but that's fine. Nico Collins, same thing. I drafted him in the 10th round, and he was a hit for me last year. Drafting him in the 4th round with the diluted target share in Houston, not really liking it. Ramondre Stevenson, he's nothing really special. The Patriots are like just kind of No, Drake May's probably not going to start this year. He's probably going to sit back and just watch. Ramondre, he should get workload. I'm just really unsure about it. TD, I agree with you about Jaden Reed. I'm not touching a single Packers guy that early with that early of an ADP, especially like I would primarily believe in Siwa and Jordan Love more. So I love where Jordan Love is drafted. That's perfect. But I would have preferred going with somebody else. Like you could have ended up getting yourself like a Godwin or DeAndre Swift and Zamir White. Like you had options there, but it's okay. And then there's Raheem Mostert, just a handcuff for A Chain. Love to see that. Zach Moss, he can be all right, 50-50 split. And Chuba Hubbard he'll be, I would like to call him serviceable just until the point that Jonathan Brooks comes back and really takes over. So
Right.
I'll give this team like I would say B minus. There's like nothing really special that's pointing towards at me like that's making me think like this guy's gonna win the whole thing.
Right. What I would say to y'all about one point before we move on to the next. Um, Jonathan Brooks, I watched him. He's good. He's solid. But y'all gotta understand that these guys are grown men and they don't want their jobs taken. And so Chuba and Miles Sanders are gonna like go extra hard. And I think Jonathan Brooks next year is his deal. So if you're in Dynasty, buy low on him now. But I don't think this is going to be his year coming off a knee injury and having to learn the pro game and protect Bryce Young. You think he's going to be able to protect Bryce Young, and they're going to trust him enough to put him in when you got Chuba, who's a vet, and Miles Sanders, who's running angry? That's the only thing for redraft. I don't want to touch Brooks, but for dynasty, yes. And I would take Brooks and pick him up off the waiver wire if I have a deep bench and stash him. But I don't think he's ever going to beat Chuba because I think Chuba and those guys are playing for contracts.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you just because of the in my league there's no IR spot, which kind of sucks, but you have that extra bench spot which you can just keep your player. It kind of sucks, but that player's just gonna be there, injured or not. I do agree with that Jonathan Brooks statement, just because of the fact that on ESPN especially, he is being drafted in the 6th round, which is kind of scaring me. And it's like TD, like you kind of opened my eyes again because I never really thought about it. I thought, oh, Brooks is going to be that guy once he comes back. But I think coming off a torn ACL midway through the season, especially in the NFL as a rookie, and I guess you're trying to expect him to have like a CMC or Brees Hall workload just because of how bad that Panthers offense is.
Right.
I kind of believe it now. And I was like kind of high on Jonathan Brooks because I found myself drafting him in mock drafts in that 6th round. But now that you open my eyes, I'm just going to completely fade him. So,
Right.
yeah, I agree with that, man. That's a good take.
Okay, so we got about 4 more teams to go through, guys. I appreciate everybody being here. So we're gonna try to knock this out quickly. Ro, you want to start with this one?
Yeah. Call me crazy, but this team's actually looking pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
He reached on Gibbs, in my opinion. I do have him as my running back 4 behind Christian McCaffrey, so ahead of Saquon Barkley. But with Jefferson there, I feel like you just kind of got to steal the value. Kyron, I actually don't hate that. In Dynasty, I'm not so high on, but in redraft, I could definitely take a shot on him. I think he'll have his job secured down for probably the next 2 seasons. Travis Kelce, where you got him, I love him in the 3rd. Then he stacks him with Mahomes. Amari Cooper, Terry Scary, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown. I mean, that's not like that bad of a receiving core. Then you get Jonathan Brooks, who I believe can take over midseason, maybe 4th quadrant.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you have to wait for him. I don't know. Rico Dowdle, he could definitely overtake Ezekiel Elliott. I think this team's a solid B+.
Right. What I would say, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna talk about this one. It's okay because I think this is good content, and I'm gonna chop this up and try to upload it about Gibbs. The reason why I'm fading Gibbs, but I agree with you, Ro. I think Gibbs is going to be special, but I don't want to take special running backs early over guys who's going to get 100% of the workload. It's only like 4 running backs who's getting a true workload, and to me, that's Christian McCaffrey, Brees Hall, B. John Robinson, and Saquon Barkley. Even Derrick Henry has kind of like a special role. Now, there might be some late round guys that we believe is going to get a lot of work, maybe, but I'm not drafting Gibbs over none of those guys. But what I will do, I will get Jahmyr Gibbs as a special weapon after those guys, in which that's the turn. So even over Kyron Williams, I'm willing to take him over Kyron, even though I feel like Kyron's going to get a lot of work, but he's not like a true bell cow like Saquon. And maybe you might disagree about Saquon, Ayush, but I just want to say that little part. But I guess I'm going to go ahead and rank the team since I'm talking. Kyron Williams, I'm okay with taking him in the 2nd round. I think we are thinking too much about the injuries. Now he can go down, so get the handcuff if you want to. But Kyron Williams is not going to be coming out the game, and Blake Corman's taking his goal line touch if Kyron is healthy. Now, if Kyron's not healthy, then you're right. So to me, Kyron's ADP should be all about injuries, not anything else. He's going to get the full workload, especially with Puka having a little bit of an injury. Travis Kelce in the 3rd. Who can say anything about Travis? He's special. He's the best receiving tight end in the history of the game. Pat Mahomes, and I love the stack. So right now, even though I don't like the Gibbs pick, I'm still giving this team right now A. I still love the first 4 picks. Maury Cooper in the 5th, I'm still gonna give respect. Until I see Amari fall off, I'm gonna say that's a good pick. I think I love Deshaun Watson this year. I think he's gonna be a breakout guy. So I'm taking a lot of Deshaun Watson, especially in super flex leagues. Terry McLaurin, I'm not super high on these guys. I just need to wait and see. Everybody keeps saying Jalen Williams is going to break out. I don't know if that's going to be true or not. I think he's going to be solid, but I don't know is he going to be able to beat professional defenses. So that's just me. So I take Terry McLaurin as okay. Worthy, I love you got the stack. I love stacking teams like this. This is elite offense. So even if Worthy don't go off, who cares? You got Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes who are going to go off. Let's say Travis Kelce doesn't go off. Well, it don't matter. Hopefully Worthy goes off. Hopefully Pat Mahomes goes off. And then you got Brown. I love that. A lot of people say that's too many. No, it's not. Not for the Kansas City Chiefs because you got the quarterback. So if you didn't have a quarterback, I wouldn't want to do it. So sometimes I want to do content on that, having certain guys and then stacking them. Now, like to me, real quick, I want Waddle when I get Tyreek because I believe if Tyreek struggle, Waddle's going to have a big game. If Waddle struggles, Tyreek's going to have a game. And I'm also okay getting Devon A-Chain too. So there's just certain teams that I'm okay with getting 4 guys on because I think it's going to be elite. And all you need is 2 top 5 finishes. And who cares about the other guys' points? Because your guy's going to be going for 25, 30 points, and that's going to put you up there to win the week. Also with help. So going down here to Jonathan Brooks, that's where I thought he could have got a better guy. Let me see who guys winning. I love Devin. You gonna get Jonathan Brooks over Devin Singletary? I wouldn't have done that Underdog. I would have took Devin Singletary. He's a starting running back. Love the Rico Dowdle pick. So the only pick that I'm gonna go, there's 2 picks that I'm gonna try to say that I'm gonna make it probably be an A- because I like this team. Was Brooks, and I would nitpick with Terry McLaurin. Outside of that, I love this team. I'm gonna give it an A-. What would you say, Ayush?
Yeah. Just gonna go over it quick. Jahmyr Gibbs. Me and TD are kind of like on opposite sides when it comes to Gibbs. He's looking forward to fading Gibbs and going for Saquon, where I'm kind of on the other side, but that can be talked about later. Love Kyron. TD, you're completely right. It does only come down to injuries with him. And if you're really scared about him getting injured, just draft Blake Corum in the 10th round as a safety blanket, and you're going to be completely fine. Kelce, love that. He's the second tight end coming off the board in this mock draft, and stacking it with Mahomes is dangerous. My only concern with Kelce and Mahomes is that I had Mahomes last year, and he was like really disappointing because you're expecting that guy to give you an average of like 21 or 22 points a year. And just like TD said, man, Mahomes doesn't need to prove anything anymore because he's already that guy with Super Bowl rings, and he doesn't care if he's going to give some dude 16 or 17 fantasy point games. And I just have to say that as like a Mahomes owner last year, you had MVS buttery hands that kept like he could not catch a dang ball for his life, and every time he did, the ball would just go flying up, go for interception, and that would be immediately -2 off Mahomes points. And like, not to even mention how many times Jawan Taylor kept bringing offside false start penalties on Mahomes again and again, and that was frustrating as well. So hopefully Mahomes and Kelce can bounce back this year at the start and kind of cruise along the way. So that's just my take on those guys. Completely fine with the first 4 picks. I love him. Don't get me wrong. Love Amari Cooper. Now, TD, I know you did want to get nitpicky on Terry McLaurin. I guess like this preseason, we'll see what Jaden Daniels is all about. And if he is like what he was like kind of, I guess, going ahead and getting drafted towards, I'm completely fine with the McLaurin pick. And then love playing Russian roulette with Worthy and Hollywood Brown. And then you have Jonathan Brooks, which now that my eyes are open, kind of fade him. I would have taken A.D. Mitchell for upside, maybe, or Devin Singletary. It is what it is. And then love Rico Dowdle. I think he's going to be the RB1 of the Cowboys this year because Zeke is just washed, man. And I would give this team an A, actually. I would give this team just a flat-out A just for beginners. And then once we kind of see what Jaden Daniels is able to do, if Jaden Daniels is that guy, that Terry McLaurin pick, like that's an A+ like team right there because you have your running backs, if Terry McLaurin is that guy, you have your elite wide receivers. You're just taking the shot on one of the Chiefs guys, and then I think Rico Dowdle is going to beat out Zeke. So I do like these picks.
Right, I agree. So Ro, what did you say this team was?
I said a B+. I'd probably stay with that. I don't think it's quite an A.
So B+ and 2 A's. Okay, let's go on to Mexi Madden. I'll start off Justin Jefferson at the 110. Even though So real quick, last year I drafted Justin Jefferson #1 overall in a 10-team league for $200. I regretted it. I'm a Tyreek guy. I've been loving Tyreek for not 2 years, but like 4 years, 5 years. I mean, even longer than that, just since I've been playing fantasy. And I took Justin Jefferson, and I was angry, and it cost me that league. But yeah, Justin Jefferson at the 110 is always, you never can go wrong taking Justin Jefferson anywhere in the first round. But to me, you got to go and I call a prerogative pick. I don't want to take that offense like IU said. That's what I say, Ro. But Jonathan Taylor in the second is good. Debo now, I'm giving Debo his respect now with IU leaving, so that's a good pick. James Cook, I love James Cook. I think James Cook is going to be a league winner. I think Buffalo is going to be a run predominantly team. I don't think they're going to pass the ball 40 times like they did in the past. Tank Dell in the fifth, to me, he's the best Houston Texans that I'm drafting at wide receiver because he's going last, and I think he could be the #1, or he could just rotate at certain weeks, and I'm okay taking him in the fifth. I think C.J. Stroud is going to be a top 5 quarterback, so I want to get a part of that offense. I just don't want to overdraft it at the wrong ADP. Evan Ingram, I like Evan Ingram. He's solid. He's just always going to give you solid top 5, top 6 numbers. Kyler Murray, this is why I'm not drafting a lot of quarterbacks early. I would take A. Rich. I'd take maybe C.J. Stroud or Lamar. If those guys are gone, then I'm going to wait late and start getting guys like Kyler Murray, Jordan Love, Tua, and those type of guys, and Matthew Stafford. So that's why I'm not taking quarterbacks early. It just depends on what I'm trying to build. And Jaylen Warren in the 8th round, that's good. I like Jaylen Warren in the 8th round. I think he's going to have some good games. He's a great flex play. I can't say nothing about it. That's a really good pick. Right now, I'm calling this team an A-. I hate to say it's an A-. I don't see a bad pick on here. Love the Debo. I would critique Debo, but now with IU going to Pittsburgh, I think it's a good pick. Jameson Williams, I think that's a fantastic pick right there. I love Jameson Williams. I think he's going to be the next addition to this offense to help Jahmyr Gibbs, to help David Montgomery, and also help Jared Goff and Amon-Ra to be the deep threat that they drafted him to be. And I think now he's on the right path. His mind is right, and he's coming in with a clean background this year. So I think he's going to make some big plays. And remember, I'm a big play guy. I like big plays. I don't like safe guys. I never drafted a lot of Deontay Johnson because he was just safe. To me, I lost in some of the championships that I lost early in my fantasy football career was 2 guys that were just booming, getting big plays. So I learned my lesson. I want to go with the boom play guy. So I think Jameson Williams is a great pick there. Rashid Shaheed, I love him. And then a lot of it, me and Roe goes at it because I think Rashid Shaheed is better than that. So Al-Yush, if you want to spend on that when you get down here to Shaheed, you can. I'm not. Chris Olave is a better route runner, and he has better draft capital. But at the end of the day, the way the NFL is played now, I think Rashid Shaheed is a better player and is a guy that I'm willing to take in a dynasty league. And I think he's going to have his ADP and his value is going to be better than Chris Olave output in his ADP. So I love Rashid. I think this was a good team. I don't see a bad pick on here. I would have to give this team an A. A-. You want to go IU's next?
Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that if I would be like really happy if this was my team. If I'm gonna be drafting in like 8 days with all my high school buddies. I'm in college right now, so with all my high school buddies, I'm gonna end up drafting. If my team looked anything close to that, I would be more than happy because, dude, Justin Jefferson at the 10th spot is an immediate click. I do like Jonathan Taylor. TD, if I'm correct, you did say you have CMC, Brees Hall, Bijan Robinson, Saquon. Then who's your other 2 running backs in your top 6?
A-Chain.
You have A-Chain, and then where's JT and Gibbs?
I got Gibbs over JT because of Anthony Richardson.
Okay, gotcha. So you have A-Chain. So you have Gibbs as your RB6?
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
RB6. Okay. And then Debo, putting respect on his name, I think he's going to be complete. I think like with the rumors about like if McCaffrey is bound to have a regression year or if he gets injured and if it's this year, Debo Samuel is going to the moon. Like he's going to be like a first round pick capital worthy of a player just being drafted in the third round for pure upside. So I do like that. Then there's James Cook. I also agree with the Bills being a predominant run heavy offense. I love that. He's a bell cow. You already heard me, TD roll. It's like I'm just gonna stay away from like the Texans wide receiver room because I am playing Russian roulette with that at that point. I would have preferred to draft Gibbs, not Gibbs. I meant Kyle Pitts or T Higgins instead because T Higgins is a clear cut wide receiver too, and Pitts just for like the booming upside. But he did end up getting Evan Engram, which I like. Then Kyler Murray at the bottom rounds. Like if Kyler Murray falls to me here, and let's say Marvin Harrison and McBride end up being those guys, like I'd be more than happy to have that team so far. And then having Jalen Warren at that spot is kind of solid. Just as like if anything happens to the other running back in the room, then having Jalen Warren is always a good thing. And then Jameson Williams on the Detroit Lions. I don't know what's gonna happen with Amon-Ra. He's gonna probably start say cooking, but obviously TD for and Willis like for those boom plays, Jameson Williams is good. Now I don't know anything much about the Saints. Like I haven't I've heard of the Shaheed guy, but I haven't like really looked into him yet. So I will probably go ahead and do some research because the only Saints guy I know is Kamara and Olave, and that's pretty much it. And if you guys are telling me about Rashid Shaheed, like how he's going to return more value based off the ADP he's going off, then I'm kind of liking the sound with that. Overall, I would give this team like not an A plus. I would give it a A because it's literally perfect. You got your top 5 potential tight end, top 5 potential finishing quarterback in there. You have Debo. You have your workhorse running backs. You have Jefferson. You have Tank Dell for upside if you're going to play the Russian roulette. Yeah, overall, love this team, man.
Right. What do you think, Ro?
The only thing with this team is, like, I don't know if I could give it like people were giving my team like a B, and if I'm gonna compare my team to this team, I kind of like my team better. Like you compare first 3 picks, I like Chase over Jefferson. I like London quite heavily over Debo. And I don't think Travis Etienne and Jonathan Taylor are that far apart, in my opinion. James Cook and DK Metcalf. All right, let's compare this. DK Metcalf and Kenneth Walker combined, or James Cook and Tank Dell. I'm taking DK Metcalf and Kenneth Walker, in my opinion. Then we compare tight ends and quarterback. We drafted a tight end and quarterback in the same rounds. I prefer both mine over his. And then we look at a couple bench players. I feel like that's just kind of a toss-up, like, between those last 3 picks. So, if my team's getting rated like a B, then I don't know. But I'm not gonna take that too harsh. I'm just gonna grade it how I think it should be. I'd probably give this a solid A-. I like all the picks.
Right. And I'm glad you brought that up. I wouldn't pay any attention to that. The way they was grading, they wasn't giving anybody any A's. And I think what I'm gonna do is A plus, A minus, B plus, and not go with the other grades because I think it was a couple A teams that we wasn't saying was A just for grading purposes. So I agree with you saying, but I agree. Yeah, just for this team, I still think it's an A team, and I thought your team was an A team, but they didn't give anybody A. And the only reason why they giving me an A is because I left up the poll. So it is what it is. But yeah, let me see. You want to expand on anything about the Shaheed Olave real quick before we move on?
I mean, Shaheed is a fine wide receiver too in real life.
Go
I
ahead.
don't know. A.T. Perry might be able to overtake him.
I feel you. I ain't mad at you. I don't think so. I think with he was looking good in camp too. But like I said, we're gonna have to wait and see. What would you about to say? I use?
Oh, I think I got disconnected for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Rhodes was saying something. He was comparing Shaheed and Olave.
Yeah, He said he think A.T. Perry can overcome Shaheed.
Ooh.
I don't think it's nowhere possible. I think Shaheed, Shaheed just got a deal. He signed
Yeah, he
the new
did.
contract.
Yeah, he did. The coaching staff does believe in him too. And
Right.
Olave really being that wide receiver one threat, he could be facing some double covered schemes on him. And
Facts.
I know Derek Carr has struggled on it. So
Facts.
he
Yeah.
might cook. He might be a sleeper. He might end up being my not my Nico Collins where he has like a clear cut wide receiver one, but he has some like boom upside that I'm gonna definitely take down note. I'm gonna note him down right now on my notes. Matter of fact.
Right. And guys, we'll go through a couple comments before we get out of here. So be patient. I see you, Dynasty Football Key. I'll go through a couple of those before we get out of here. All right. So Cout Dog,
Can I
Saquon
grade
Barkley.
this team's first?
Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is my dad's team.
Okay.
So he went Saquon, Puka, Sam Laporta. Honestly, all those 3 picks are kind of gas. Malik Nabers is someone I really like, especially in Dynasty. Might take him a second to get going, but the fact that he's going in the 4th round, I'm more than willing to take a shot on him.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets T. Higgins, another really safe receiver in my opinion, in the 5th. Gets Aaron Jones in the 6th, finishes out his running back 2. Christian Kirk in the 7th, I really like. Tua. I mean, considering the quarterbacks that were left, I like me some Tua. Adonai Mitchell and Javonte Williams. I like Javonte. I think he's kind of being slept on, and I really liked Adonai Mitchell coming out. He did fall in the draft, but his situation isn't too bad. I actually kind of like him. I'm willing to bet on him. So all in all, I would say this team's like an easy A.
You want to go ahead, Ayush?
Yeah. So Raw, I do agree with you. First 3 picks are gas. I just can't get my head over like TD ranking Saquon over Gibbs. It's just opinion based because I'm like so bent on just Saquon, just not Saquon. I mean Gibbs being that guy, but I do like Saquon where he's drafted over here. I do like Puka because Puka does have really good upside because I just don't think Cup is gonna have like a bounce back that you're really looking for. Laporta tight end 1, red zone monster in Detroit, can't go nothing wrong. Uh, I do like Higgins here because Higgins has a wide receiver too, and if Burrow is able to stay healthy, the sky's the limit with T Higgins win because he'd be having monster weeks. My only thing with Malik Nabers is he's kind of like a risky dicer throwing yet because Daniel Jones cannot throw the damn ball. That's just me, man. I just can't like wrap my hand about Daniel Jones being that guy. And
I
New
don't
York
think
Giants,
Daniel
like,
Jones is that bad. I would compare him to like a Baker Mayfield in real life. Like
mm,
Daniel Jones just doesn't have weapons. But now he does with Malik Nabers, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt. I mean, it's looking up for him.
who did he have last year? Nobody.
He had Jalen Hyatt, Wan'Dale Robinson, and he was injured. Just not a lot going right for him.
TD, what you think about Malik Nabers?
I love him, bro. I wasn't high on him. I'm different, man. I had Troy Franklin as my number 1, not most athletic guy, but as my number 1 wide receiver as far as how guys could get in certain situations. I thought Troy Franklin could go to Kansas City, but he didn't go there. But I still like him in Denver. But going with Malik Nabers, man, I think he is the most athletic wide receiver in this draft. I think he's going to outperform Marvin Harrison his first year, but I believe Marvin Harrison will catch up. The reason why athletic ability can beat these older, strong veterans at the corner spot, and I think Marvin's going to struggle a little bit because he's going to have to beat bump and run, and he's still like a young guy. But Malik is faster than most of the corners in the league, and and he's also a little bit bigger than Marvin. I love Malik. And going to Daniel Jones, man, guys, one of my biggest misses last year was Daniel Jones. I love Daniel Jones. He doesn't throw the ball like a Josh Allen or a Pat Mahomes, but he's very, very athletic. Daniel Jones has the fastest time still, I think, in NFL history when he fell down on that 80-yard run. I think that still ranked as one of the fastest times. I could be mistaken, but go back and vet me on that. I will go back and vet it myself. But I love Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones haven't had any weapons. Don't you know? of all quarterbacks in the last 10 years, he's the only guy to never have a Pro Bowl wide receiver. He's never had a Pro Bowl wide receiver on his team. He never played with Odell Beckham. He's had Richie James and Wan'Dale Robinson and Jalen Hyatt and a bunch of other guys. Darius Slayton. So I actually do love Daniel Jones.
All right, well in that case, Schultz, I like the pick then. I just don't know more about the Giants besides knowing them being extremely poverty in the memes, but I do like that breakdown of Daniel Jones. Kind of makes me like neighbors now. Now that I think about it, kind of switching my mind. But okay, I guess I can get around that. I can get around liking neighbors, like T Higgins. Having Aaron Jones as an RB2, would have preferred going James Conner, but that is complete preference. It is maybe your dad was high on the Aaron Jones being having goal line work at Minnesota, so there's possibly potential in there. Love Christian Kirk at that pick. Just being alpha wide receiver one, he's 100% he's gonna be the number one target. I have him having most of the targets, and then it's gonna end up being Evan Engram.
I think Brian Thomas is going to take over, but I think Christian Kirk in the first 3 quarters, like he's going to be the first 3 quadrants. I feel like he's going to be the main wide receiver, but at the very end of the season, I could definitely see myself seeing Brian Thomas start to take over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's completely understandable, by the way, too. So yeah, I get you. Tua, TD and Roll, I just have a question for both of you guys regarding the Tua. If Tua has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, how are Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle putting those numbers up, and then Tua is being drafted all the way down here? Can I get like a reasoning why for it?
Bingo. You know it. And listen, I'm not taking him, and I'm nervous. I love Tyreek Hill. Rowe would tell you I take him as my number 1 pick or number 2 pick in every single draft, mock draft, real drafts, best ball, underdog. I'm with whatever Tyreek. I'm a big Tyreek guy. I said he was going to be the best player, top 5 player of all time on the offensive side of the ball. So going to your point, you own it, bro. Tua probably going to be the number 1 running quarterback. This offense is probably going to break records. If Devon Achane, Tyreek, and Waddle can stay healthy, let's just say I'm gonna go to 80% of the season. They gonna probably break records of the yards and points. And I think this is gonna be a record-breaking year for all offenses in the NFL because the game has just changed, and that's what the kickoff return and everything. They want it to be like the NBA. I'm older than you, but back watching basketball back in the day, man, if you saw a 100-point game, it was like, oh, this is amazing. Now a 100-point game is nothing. So in the NFL, bro, we're not gonna see no team scoring under 20 points, and we see that a lot, right? I think all teams are gonna score at least 20 points, and I think the Miami Dolphins are going to be scoring like 35 points a game, man. It's going to be special. So yes, bro, Tua that was a killer value. Going to what you're trying to say.
Yeah, so it's still, my question still lingers. Like, why is Tua being like, if Tyreek Hill and all these guys are able to put up points like that, then why is Tua still at the bottom? Like, why is he picked 200 in ESPN drafts? Like, that's
Injuries.
Like, injury. Okay, that's like, oh yeah, he did get pretty bad
concussions. People don't trust it. He had a hip surgery and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to draft a quarterback with CTE.
Right.
Gotcha. AD Mitchell for upside. Love that pick. Javonte Williams. Now, I did have Javonte Williams last year. I just don't like the Broncos at all. But if you're going to just play Russian roulette and just go for RB1 upside and just trying to milk some points out of some guys, I do love Javonte in that case. I'd give this team like a solid A minus to A range. I just need to wrap my head around Neighbors, Aaron Jones. But besides that, I like the sound of that team, man.
I can't give it an A minus. I love the team. Saquon, Puka, Laporta, Neighbors, those first 4 picks is an A. T. Higgins, to me, I'm nervous about Joe Burrow. I was one of the few channels, man. I got trolled so bad. I I used about in row I said I'm fading Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and people thought I was crazy, and it was because I thought Joe Burrow played. He just sat in the pocket and he tried to stay. And I mean, I just didn't like the way he played. It was dangerous. I'm like, bro, all you trying to do is sit in the pocket and throw it deep to Jamar Chase all the time. That's not a winning formula. And so things happen the way they happen. And so I'm not big on T. Higgins. I'm really fading Cincinnati outside of Chase Brown. So I don't like T. Higgins. That's me nitpicking. That's also just an opinion and prerogative. Aaron Jones, I think that's an okay pick at the 6th round. I think Aaron Jones was the number 1 running back in the fantasy football playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Aaron Jones is so if he's healthy, he's elite. He's older, but I think he's gonna catch a lot of passes. So I think that's a decent pick. I actually think Christian Kirk is gonna be the underneath guy. Brian Thomas is gonna be the deep guy. Tua is good. AD Mitchell and Javonte are okay picks. I think this is a B+ team. I think it's a really good team, but the T. Higgins, AD Mitchell, and Javonte Williams brings it down to a B+ if we nitpicking according to the other teams that we gave age to.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. I guess I never looked at Burrow at that way. I guess one thing that did make him special in the LSU days, he kind of had the Mahomes effect in the pocket where, he was kind of gunning it and running it for the first down when needed. He was kind of doing pocket escape throws and all of that stuff. So, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But, yeah, I think I would agree with the B+ for sure. I'm just giving it an A- just because, like, how high I am on Burrow. That's like our main difference, contrast in that letter grade. But other than that, yeah, I can definitely agree with that grade, man.
Okay, well, last team right here, and then we'll do a couple questions and we'll get out of here. I appreciate everybody being patient. You want to do this one first, Ayush?
Sure. Garrett Wilson at 12 and Devontae Adams. Now, as I was talking about, I think the Fantasy Dynasty, was his name Alex TD?
Yeah, Alex.
Alex, yeah. So as we were chopping it up about Gardner Minshew, about just targeting his favorite receiver in general, I do personally, just me being me, I do think Devontae Adams went too early in terms of his ADP. I would have been more comfortable taking him in the mid of the second, not at the turn, because you are going wide receiver and Garrett Wilson, and you're already taking that risk of A-Rod like being healthy and all that. So that's a primary one. I would have probably went with like a running back around the turn, like an A-Chain, a Kyron Williams, a Jonathan Taylor. You have your options there, but that's fine. I can live with Garrett Wilson. Just Devontae's too early. Would have went with Puka, but that's fine. Considering that sleeper is like where quarterbacks are flying off the charts. Lamar Jackson being a QB5, I'm completely fine with that. He has rushing upside as a QB. It's just that he's not able to convert those runs into touchdowns, which is not his job, which is completely understandable because another thing what I'm seeing TDN rules is that people trying to get a Lamar Jackson and a Mark Andrews stack going on. And I've even seen like teams trying to get Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson, as well as Derrick Henry, which is a nasty combo if you ask me. Mm-hmm. Because if the Ravens offense is supposed to be projected and if it could boom, there might be a possibility where we can be seeing Lamar Jackson throwing for like maybe 200, 250 yards every day, maybe rushing for 50 or 100, maybe rushing for 50 or 100. That's an exaggeration, but rushing for 50 and 100 yards, you're going to see Derrick Henry with maybe 2 touchdowns and with 100 to 150 rushing yards. And then on top of that, you have Andrews you have to worry about as well. So I really like how the offense is built. Zay Flowers, I'm just going to stay away from him. That's too early for me personally because
I think so too.
Yeah, like Zay Flowers on I as I said, I mainly draft on ESPN. Like I think you could have got Zay Flowers in like right where you drafted Kyle Pitts. You could have waited a whole entire round and you could have got Zay Flowers because I don't think nobody would have taken Zay Flowers that early because you did have James Cook. He was right there. With the neighbors hype that I'm hearing from you guys, TD and Rolls, like you could have got him. You had a bunch of other choices. I just really don't like Zay Flowers. Mm-hmm. I'm probably gonna deduct him a gray letter for that. I do like Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts has 5. he has as a like what he's the seventh tight end off the board. Love that man, just because of the fact that I've never drafted Kyle Pitts, but if this is the year for Kyle Pitts to break out and really show his like first round value when he got drafted in the NFL, it's gonna be this year because he has a quarterback. There's the Arthur Smith coach is not going to be there. Kyle Pitts is going to be that guy. So I really like that. James Conner, love taking James Conner at that turn is I like that because you didn't draft any kind of punted the running back position for the first 5 picks, which is completely fine. So James Conner and Pollard, I guess you wanted to get your little running back stack going. So I love combining Pollard and Spears. Matter of fact, because of the fact that you're just able to, you will know, you don't have to worry about who's going to be the RB1. You will have a guaranteed RB1 at the end, especially if one goes down. So I love that. Devil Singletary being running back 1. Love that as well, man. Just for upside, you just had to hit your 4 running backs in a row. And Romeo Dobbs, I would have not taken Dobbs because simply because of the fact that if Jaden Reed and Siwa have already gone ahead, why would you take Dobbs? I think you could have definitely got him off the waiver, especially when you had Rico Dowdle and Javonte Williams there. But if you're going to just shoot a shot, if you really wanted to invest in that, if you were believing in that Packers offense and you think Dobbs is going to be that guy, then I can understand. Overall, I'm going to give this team like a flat B, not even a B plus, just because of the fact that he kind of dealt the cards to himself in a bad way when he just took Zay Flowers that early. That's all.
Yeah, I think he took Zay Flowers a little early too. Devontae Adams is also way too early for me. No really bad pick I see from there. Probably would have preferred either Wicks or Polk over Romeo Dobbs.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like a preference. I don't think it's a bad pick going Dobbs. Running backs are fine. I like the way he built them out, considering he waited late for them. I would have liked Trey Benson instead of probably Romeo Dobbs.
Right. Because you got Connor already.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no, I think it's a B. Probably a B flat.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say the Devontae Adams is too early. I understand it. It doesn't make it a bad team. Like we talked about this earlier, how you can make a couple bad picks, but that doesn't mean you can't win a championship.
Yeah.
So I think he reached on Devontae Adams just to get a wide receiver stack that he felt comfortable with. I think he feels comfortable with the target share of those two guys. I actually I'm not mad at the Zay Flowers, and I'm biased. I think Zay Flowers. So this is what I think. I don't think Lamar is going to rush for 1,000. I think Lamar might rush for 600 yards, 500 yards this year. I think Lamar's going to have his first 4,000-yard passing season. That's why they brought in Todd Munchkin, the guy from Georgia, to take this team to another level as far as passing the ball. And so that's why they drafted wide receivers this year, and they got Rashad Bateman, gave him a deal, and they got Mark Andrews. I think Zay Flowers is the best wide receiver on this team. And I think he's going to have 12 to 1,300 yards receiving and about 8 touchdowns. I think they do use him in the green zone, but he's not going to have over 10. Derrick Henry is there, but teams are going to try to take away Lamar and Derrick Henry. So what are you going to do? You're going to have man-to-man outside in the green zone for easy passing touchdowns to Zay, kind of like they did a little bit last year. So I'm not mad at the Zay. The only thing that I would say, I actually think this team is I'm not mad at the Dobbs, but going to y'all point, you left Rico Dowdle on there. I'm taking Rico Dowdle over Dobbs. I'm taking Shaheed. I'm taking Polk. And I like Benson. But Dobbs is not a bad pick to take as your last starting position. I think Dobbs is going to have some good games, but I think Rico Dowdle is going to be more consistent than Dobbs. I would agree with all those weapons and those tight ends on the Green Bay Packers. So I think this team is a B plus. I think it's a really good team. I'm just nitpicking it. So yeah, I think it's a good team. So I guess we get through a couple questions here, real quick. Dynasty Football Key says, when are you drafting Jaden Daniels? I'm probably in regular redraft leagues. I'm probably not going to be able to get to him. I'm taking other guys. What about y'all guys?
I am in the 10th pick, and in my mock drafts, if I punted the QB position and I'm targeting Jaden Daniels, you can usually get him around like the 10th, 11th, or 12th round for sure if you're in the back end for sure. I would say 10th or 11th just to be safe.
What about you, Ro?
I mean, I would prefer Caleb Williams. I think Jaden Daniels could have a better rookie season, and Caleb Williams will just be better like down the road. But I think Caleb Williams could definitely easily have a better rookie season, and I think Caleb Williams is in a really good situation. He could also run the ball. So the fact that Caleb Williams is going after, I'd probably just wait and get him.
Oh yeah, Caleb is going much later. You can probably get him in like the 13th round or so. If I got to remember, yeah.
Right. Dynasty Football Key says, Lamar rookie year, I took that round 8 and Lamar in the 9th. Feel like I'm waiting for Stafford and Daniels is the move. I love Stafford. Stafford is also a dark horse to win MVP for me. So I love Stafford. Yeah, I think I like Stafford. Hector says, I hope Brooks can do what Todd Gurley did his rookie year, coming out from the same injury first game, week 4, and rush over 1,000 yards his rookie season. I don't see that happening. I don't think he's that type of pedigree. What do y'all think?
I think it's possible. I mean, even with Jonathan Brooks' injury, he still went second round. In the NFL draft, he was traded up for it. So I feel like it's definitely possible, but I'm not going to say it's likely.
I'm just gonna go ahead and just state the fact that if we just saw Jahmyr Gibbs like as a rookie, and he was like I guess you could say like a first rounder when he got drafted, and he was not injured. He was like a complete, like they knew he was that guy in Alabama, and he had to split all of those things with Monty, and everybody's like Monty's old and washed. It's like Gibbs' season, right? But that's not what that happened, and I kind of agree with TD. Like, sure, Jonathan Brooks has a ceiling, but the problem is that I can't afford to spend a 6th round pick on an injured guy who's probably not going to come until week 5 or week 6, and then I got to depend on a rookie to beat out some grown men who are trying to feed their families for the starting job at the running back, and it's going to take him time to warm up. On top of that, you guys got to remember that too. So maybe if Jonathan Brooks was like a 7th or 8th round pick, I've been way more comfortable with that, because you're just overhyping it at that point.
Right. Let's see here. Appreciate you, KR. Appreciate you. Zach earlier, he said, I disagree with the too many targets there take. If the offense has elite quarterback, just don't overpay on them, but draft them at the right ADP. And I think that's what I use, and I'm saying, and also Ro. I think we're saying that we take those guys from Houston at the right ADP, but we're not taking them early. I think it's all about the ADP. I wouldn't take a committee like in the top 5 rounds.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I completely agree with that. When I said like I'm like probably not gonna go ahead and like, I'm gonna completely stay away from the Chicago, the Texans, and the Green Bay offense. I don't mean I'm gonna fade it 100%. Like, if I see a lot of my guys in my home league, and they're gonna go ahead and then I'm saying like, oh, Diggs is gonna be washed, Diggs is gonna be washed, Diggs is gonna be washed, and I'm gonna be able to get Diggs in the 5th round. Like, sure, sign me up. Like, I'll take that. I'm willing to take that gamble, but just not like a early 2nd or 3rd, which is where he's usually going. I'm just not comfortable with that, with the offense like that caliber, just having that many receivers and just having to spend an early 2nd or 3rd round pick.
Facts. Zach says, agreed. If Monty goes down, Gibbs has the upside to be RB1 in fantasy. So if Montgomery goes down, what I see what Gibbs will do is get the goal line touches at that point, which would give him RB1 upside. But remember, Detroit want to win a Super Bowl. So why would you give Gibbs 20? Say if Montgomery misses 7 weeks with an injury, why would you give Gibbs 20 touches each of those weeks, especially against teams that you dominated? You would give him enough for him to be a top 5 RB, and then you would go and let other guys come in to keep him safe. The thing is to have him healthy going into the real football playoffs. Y'all got to understand that. So that's why I feel like Gibbs would never get like a bunch of points in the fourth quarter of a blowout win. Now, if Montgomery goes down, when they get to the green zone, which is the 5-yard line and in, yes, he would get that, and that will make him be able to get RB1. But as far as him getting 20 touches from like all over the whole game, they're not going to do that to Gibbs. He's too special for what they need. So that's why they got Montgomery, and that's why they love using Montgomery, just to keep Gibbs fresh for when they need to, if they down and they need to use a secret weapon to, try to come back and use this guy dynamically. That's what they want Gibbs for. How do you feel about that, Ro?
I mean, I think I have him as my running back 4 right after CMC.
Same.
So I like me some Jahmyr Gibbs. I could definitely see myself drafting him in the first round, especially when he's going at like the back end of the first round. I definitely feel comfortable drafting him there.
Right. Yeah. So here's because I'm at because this question, like, it kind of applies to me mainly as well, because as I said, I am drafting from the 10th position in my home league. And let me just go ahead and just TD, I'm just going to read you like who I possibly think are going to be the first 9 picks, right?
Okay.
So you're going to have CMC, you're going to have CD, then Tyreek, then Breece Hall, Bijan, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown. The guy picking at 8th, it's kind of a dark horse. I don't know who's really going for it. I think he likes A.J. Brown, so we'll just go with A.J. Brown. And then the guy picking at 9th, I already talked with him. He's like a friend of mine. He's like we're like tight in that league. And then he's already told me that he doesn't believe in Jefferson in the offense. So in the slight chance that Jefferson falls to me, I will take it. But if not, and I kind of have to choose between them, like, what do you guys like? I just want to hear, who are you guys going to take at that 10th pick? I want to hear like your opinions.
My top 9 guys are, in no particular order, are Chase, CMC, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra, CD, Justin Jefferson, Bijan, Breece Hall, and A.J. Brown. So, in my opinion, I feel like those are the top 9 guys that usually go. So, I feel like you should just plan on those guys being gone.
Yeah, that is like my biggest plan. Like those top 9s, like your A.J. Brown, your Jefferson. I'm banking on A.J. Brown and Jefferson to fall to me. But if in the case that I don't see any of those guys, who do you think like who do you think is like worth taking at 10? And then especially the bigger question, who do I take at that second round? Because TD, I'm sure like you're looking at the draft board right now. There's like a massive fall off once you kind of get past the 14th pick.
Especially with Puka Nacua being hurt. So with Puka Nacua being hurt, I'm not gonna sit there and tell you to do that. So I would say, it wouldn't happen. I would probably, I'm looking. I probably would. So do you think Saquon could fall to you at the 2-3?
No, he's 100% going to be taken in the turn.
Okay. So, because you gotta look to get who you're gonna be stacking together.
Yeah.
So, I would say, I like Gibbs and Kyron Williams together.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear, because 100%. I did hear you out, TD, and you're like, it's too early reaching for Gibbs, but I'm like, dude, if I'm not gonna get Jefferson, and I kind of have to take a risk on Puka with Kupp possibly coming at. And then there's Garrett Wilson with just A-Rod coming off an ACL. Why not just go ahead and get myself the next best running back, which is the running back 4? And then hopefully if Saquon or JT were to fall to me at the 203, I'd love that. But that's probably most likely not going to happen. So thanks, guys. I'm probably just going to go with the strat that if Jefferson falls to me, I'll just probably take that. And then whatever's the next best running back, like my Kyron, my A-Chain, or okay. So let me ask you guys this. it's like a follow-up question. So now that you guys answered like the first round question, so either you take one of the top 9 guys that falls, or you stack Jameer and Kyron. In the case that, let's say, Jefferson does fall to me, and I go ahead with Jefferson, who do you guys think is like the next best player to take off on that board? Because you have your A chain. I'm a pretty big A chain and a Derrick Henry believer, and Kyron is like an thing that I was concerned about injuries, but now that I heard your opinion about him, TD, Kyron is just there should be no excuses for him other than injury. Which in that case, I would have to spend the 10th round pick just to get Blake Corum as a safety blanket. But let me know what you guys think right now.
Yes, I'm going with Kyron or A Chain in the
So-
second round.
So you guys like Kyron or A Chain at that 203?
Yes, I'm with man Taylor. Listen, Taylor's gonna get a nice role, man, but I don't know if he can stay healthy the whole season. I would rather I don't know, man. I think in full PPR you would have to go with A Chain over Taylor. That's just me in full PPR.
What you think, Rolls?
I actually think Jonathan Taylor's probably a better bet than Devon A-Chain for me or Kyron Williams. I do like taking Devon A-Chain and Kyron Williams in redraft, but
Yeah, this is a redraft league, by the way, just for information.
I think I just like Jonathan Taylor better. I think he's just shown us more overall. If, assuming all those 9 guys are gone, I would probably go Jahmyr Gibbs. He is my 10th ranked player, so I do like me some Jahmyr Gibbs. If you wanted to go double running back, I could see myself going any of these 3. Jonathan Taylor, Kyron Williams, Devon A-Chain. I could definitely see myself doing that.
Okay, and just a question. This is a question specifically for you, TD. Can you just tell me? So you have Devon A-Chain as your running back 5 or 6?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and can you just tell me why is he so high? Because one of my biggest things was like he is. I don't care about the height because I don't care about the height in any of the running backs, but he's on the lighter weight side of the running backs, and I'm just concerned about injuries for him. And not only that, you have Mostert and you have like the new running back that they just drafted, so it kind of worries me because with Kyron, it's like, hey, I know there's specifically one guy, and if Kyron goes down, then I will have Blake Corum. But in the case that I have to go with A-Chain because I know you're a firm A-Chain believer. Like, what do you think of him? I guess.
Okay. So you remember last year when Raheem Mostert had this outstanding season before they even started really deploying A Chain, right? You remember early in the season?
Yeah.
That he overtook Mostert for goal line carries.
He did. Okay, yeah.
You remember? He
Yeah.
was like, because nobody was like, okay, yeah, that was just I think he had like his first like 17, 18 point game. We was like, but that was just a fluke. He's not going to be Mostert having a great season. And then that next game, they was taking Mostert out and letting A-Chain get the full workload, and then he got hurt. So I believe that they got Jalen Wright for an insurance policy. So with my strategy, I don't care about the injury risk in the second round, man. I can't leave a 50 and 60-yard runs on the table. I can't leave that. And the reason why I say 50 and 60-yard runs, when you play the Miami Dolphins, I'm gonna ask you this. What are you gonna do as a defensive coordinator? If you play the Miami Dolphins, what are you gonna do?
You're gonna probably double Tyreek, and then you have to worry about Waddle as well.
Come on now. And so what is that gonna leave for the run game? You can't put any safeties in the box.
Mm-hmm.
So A-Chain he's not gonna get touched into like 4 or 5 yards. And that scheme is like the San Francisco scheme, is just like the Sean McVay scheme. It's a great run fit scheme. And so I can't leave that on the table. And to me, I'm willing to risk it. So let's talk worst case scenario. You're exactly right. If he goes down, who cares? Right? Remember from last year, you just sit there and said that. But if he hits and he doesn't get hurt, are you going to be able to live with yourself if you go and take Jonathan Taylor? Jonathan Taylor to me is the only thing, like, you're going to be upset when Anthony Richardson goes in for the touchdown because they're going to use Anthony Richardson like that. Not a lot. I just don't think Jonathan Taylor has the upside as A-Chain, but Jonathan Taylor is safer. I would go to that, even though he's injury risk too. I would say he's safer, but I would rather go with the boom guy in the second round. First pick, no, I wouldn't do it. But my second round pick, I'm going with A-Chain. But I do like Kyron Williams too, though.
Okay, so going Gibbs and A-Chain would be. I kind of like the sound of Gibbs and A-Chain because that is like high ultra elite firepower.
Mm-hmm.
Because okay, sure, like you're gonna have to keep Gibbs healthy and stuff. But dude, Gibbs is such a weapon in the receiving game, and I
Yes.
don't know if you guys heard with the brand new news that Amon-Ra is gonna end up giving him like whatever money he wants to buy whatever he needs, and he's trying to buy a brand new crib for his mom, and like he's trying to get all these cars and brand new stuff. If he goes 1,000 receiving and 1,000 rushing, which is probably unlikely to happen, but I can most definitely see Gibbs getting that workload for sure.
Yeah.
And you, TD, now that you mentioned about A-Chain, like in that way, I'm like completely kind of sold on him. Like, I know the moment I walk into my home league draft and I take Gibbs at 10, I'm already gonna get baked for that. I know that's one thing. And then drafting A-Chain in the second round that early because ESPN ADP A-Chain is probably going in like the early third round, maybe at the 303 or 304 type of area. So it is what it is. And TD, by the way, this is my first time on the channel, by the way. But do you guys ever do ESPN ADPs or anything like that, or is it mainly
No, I'm so much on Sleeper, man. I just mostly deal with Sleeper, but I talk about different ADPs, and I'm really not an ADP guy. I'm more of a round and tier guy because A-Chain is not going to make it back around to you.
Oh
So
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
so I'm like ADPs doesn't really matter. I think you can still I have a home league that I do in ESPN and but it's auction. So to me, man, fantasy football, I wouldn't worry about the ADP too much, but no, I don't do a lot of ADP type content because I think it can make you be more very regiment. Like, okay, I got to get this guy here because this is the 2-3 when you should just be getting the guys. So I like the Jahmyr Gibbs A-Chain because what I would tell you, man, they scared of your 30, 40 point outbreak games that you can have with those guys because the only way you can get 30 points and stuff like that, you got to have like them 70-yard touchdowns. That's why I like Gibbs. But Saquon is just a little bit safer to me. But I like what you're saying about Jahmyr and A-Chain because those guys can score a lot of points, and I don't want to play against a team that got Jahmyr and A-Chain because I'm like, somebody gonna go for 30 points. One of those guys has a chance to go for 30 points.
Man, I love.
Marvin Harrison is hella low on ESPN's ADP.
Wait, can you say that rolls one more time? My audio kind of cut off. Can you say that one more time?
I said Marvin Harrison, he's going hella low on ESPN's ADP.
Oh yeah, he is. 100% he is.
So is Drake London.
Yeah. Normally when I'm picking around the 10 spot, I can find myself like your Gibbs, your Kyron, maybe your Jefferson if he falls there, your A-Chain. I have like full control. Normally when at that 3-4 turn area ish, I'm looking toward because quarterbacks do end up going in like the mid fourth or early fifth. So I kind of just fade my quarterback TD because I like your idea about just drafting a QB with upside who is like outside of the top 5 but has a chance to break in. So this goes to ask another question. Because I like what the Dolphins offense is going to be with this NFL like gearing towards like more in the offensive heavy side.
Mm-hmm.
TD, where do you think Tua can end at the end of the season? Like let me hear your prediction, man.
Man, so I get biased with this. I like I like Matthew Stafford for the value and stuff, man, and I like Lamar Jackson as a player and also what his upside can be. But what we was talking about earlier, man, I think Tua, why can't he be the number one? If we like Waddle got that big deal from the team. We like Tyreek, he got another big deal. They talking about Devon A-Chain playing wide receiver. He's special. Then
Whoa. Let me stop you right there. Devon A-Chain is playing wide receiver now?
Yes, you ain't read that?
No,
Yes,
man.
they got him at wide receiver. He's like, you heard about that, ain't you, Ro?
No, I haven't.
This is
Yes.
news, man.
They saying they're using him at wide receiver. So if all this is true, the guy who's going to get all those residual effects is going to be Tua. And Tua, man, he has number one quarterback upside. So I that's all I can say. To me, it's all about your guy. Listen, it's going to be a lot of good quarterbacks. It's going to be a lot of high scoring quarterbacks this year. So to me, it's all about what you want, man. But he could be the number one quarterback. Listen, I got 3 or 4 leagues. There's big money leagues. It's $100 plus. and I got 4 guys from the Dolphins. I got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Water, Devon Achane, and Tua.
All right, that's interesting. Using A-Chain in the wide receiver role kind of makes me think he's gonna just pop out for the screen passes and run it down for like those big 50-yard play touchdowns.
Come on now.
It's all starting to add up. Okay, so based off that, what I'm gonna do is pretty much I'm gonna punt the quarterback position because Tua and Jared Goff, I can get them in late rounds, like round 14, 15, and they're like player 205, 206, man. And
Hey, yo, you better watch out for Justin Herbert.
Really? Okay, I'm not. Who's on that? Okay, that's like a hot topic. Do you want to talk about that, TD bro? Like like Justin Herbert? I don't like the Chargers offense that much, honestly.
No. I'm taking him in best ball formats when he comes back and he has some good games, but I'm not taking him as my quarterback. I mean, it's a lot of guys I'm okay with taking. If I had to get him, I'd take it, but there's no way I'm drafting Justin Herbert over Tua.
Yeah, over Goff and Stafford, matter of fact. All of those guys are there.
Right.
I'd rather...
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you boys sleeping on Herbert.
Well, you can't draft everybody.
Yeah.
You can't draft everybody. So it's just like we talking about Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, and Justin Jefferson. What are we doing? We splitting hairs, right? So you can't get everybody. So to me, I'm not mad at Justin Herbert. I take him, but he's going at the same with Jordan Love with all those weapons. You got Kyler Murray, you got Tua, Matthew Stafford. So with that injury, man, I'd be a fool just to go get him unless I thought he was going to be the number 1 quarterback. And would you bet $100 that he's going to be the number 1 quarterback overall?
No.
There you go. So why not take a chance on these other guys who's healthy?
I mean,
out
he
there?
goes after guys like Kyler Murray, Jordan Love.
Right.
He goes in like the range, like even like right after Tua. He goes like right after Tua.
Right.
That was like really eye-opening, because now that I'm thinking about it, it's like I'm looking through the first 7 rounds, 8 rounds, and I'm looking at the top 5 guys, and there's like 5 receivers going off the board. And it's like, well, if Tyreek Hill and Amon-Ra St. Brown and CeeDee Lamb is like the first 3 picks off the board, why can't I just believe in the quarterbacks possibly having a top 5 season, man?
Right. You got to go with it. You're going to be, because you go back and look at it the last couple of years, the top wide receivers was already, the quarterbacks was good too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Couple more questions, guys, and then we're going to get out of here. I think Rami said,
did we ever decide on a winner?
Huh? No, we didn't, man. It just got, we went on, my camera went out and stuff, so we just went on and kept it moving. So we didn't even do that, bro. We just broke the teams down. You had a good team. You
did.
But yeah, we're gonna do a couple of these questions, bro, and then we're gonna get out of here. He says DJ Moore is the guy just got paid. He's a steal again this year. I think DJ Moore is the guy, but I still think Keenan Allen is a great route runner, and he's gonna be a great safety blanket for a rookie quarterback. Real quick, what do y'all guys think?
Definitely target dilution. Yeah. I drafted him in the 5th and 6th, and people are telling me to fade him last year with no like competition. I'm gonna fade him this year just because there's a lot of competition. I hope he does good. I'm a Chicago Bears fan, but there's simply just way too much potential at around that area position where I would rather be comfortable drafting Devontae Smith instead of DJ Moore in this draft.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like you could kind of, if you want a piece of that Chicago's offense, you could kind of wait later and get a Keenan Allen or Real Madunze.
Right. And last one, Hector A says, I heard Gibbs too using that wide receiver. He's heard the Gibbs is being used at wide receiver too.
Yeah, heard that news, which is why I started getting more high on him, because coming out of Alabama, Gibbs was already ranked really high with his hands. And it's been rumors. It's not even rumors. It's facts that he's been working out with Amon-Ra St. Brown's for hands training, man. And it's like he's like legit at the X. So if A-Chain and Gibbs are gonna be like potential PPR monster machines, man, I'm gonna take him at 10 and 15 as discussed earlier. I'm loving it, man.
Facts. Okay, guys, I appreciate y'all coming up. Ro, always, man, go support his channel too, man. He has a channel, man. So yeah, I appreciate it, man. You subscribe to the channel, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Also, man, I got listener leagues. I know you might be full, but I'm doing I don't know if you ever played Best Ball Dynasty, but I have a Best Ball Dynasty right now. On the way you get into that league is you have to sign up as a member, which is I got different tiers. I got a cheap tier is $1, and then it goes all the way up to $20. So all you gotta do is be on the cheapest tier, and you can play in my listener leagues, man. And we need one more guy. So if you are willing to try that, man, I think it's fun. I think it also you don't have to worry about setting your lineups because it's best ball. Only thing you have to worry about doing is just the drafts and trades. So also you too, Ro, it's $25, man, for the entry fee for that league. I know you a member, Ro. So if you wanted to get in there, you're welcome. Also, I have a couple more free listener leagues that I'm doing that I'm providing the prizes for, depending on what tier you sign up for. So y'all guys are welcome to do that. So yeah, anything you want to say, Ayush, before we get out of here?
Nah, man, just first time on the channel. Really good, dicing it up. Looking forward to Gibbs and A-Chain season, baby. Let's get it going.
Yes, sir. Anything you want to say, Ro?
I think I'm good. There's my YouTube at like the bottom of my name tag. If you want to go look that up, it's at the real 07 or just the real 07 and it'll come up.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys being here. I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Okay, turn me up. They don't want no smoke. I'm